Well, none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots, yeah. None of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Children have to go back to the roots. I'm telling you now, the truth, the truth. Telling you, yeah, the truth, the truth. You have to go back to the roots, the roots. Go to the roots, to the roots. Yeah, man, you know, this is Benjamin out of the Smiling Coast, West Africa, Gambia, representing for the one and only Abu, the big man you don't know, the Soninke warrior, the man that brings the truth, Soninke warrior, the sign of enlightenment, the Soninke warrior, the righteous and the true African. Abu, reveal the truth to them, you know, no matter how them try run from it, because none of them can hide from the truth, yeah. Yes, we have to dig back the roots, yeah. Fire!
Subscribe now.
I remember the days, all those years ago that never fade away. And I remember your face when you hit the ground. I can recall the time and place on a midnight walk through the old streets, trying to turn back the clock to the days of old, back to the days when all the things we knew were made of gold. As the world moves on, time sings a song. In the old neighborhood, as the clock strikes one, the memory lives just as it stood.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Afridamos Report. I'm your host, Afridamos. I want to welcome all of you to another fun edition of the Afridamos Report. If you haven't already hit the like, do that so we can bring all the other people into the room. Audrey, welcome to the Afridamos Report. Of course, you know, the introduction is pretty hot. We got to bring the truth to everyone. Guys, come on in, hit the like, you know, let's have a great conversation. You know, I know I haven't been as consistent, but I am hoping I can get that going so we can continue to have, you know, the different episodes of conversations that we have here. Guys, you remember last week I did the show was analyzing, breaking down what, Frank Zanu was saying. I mean, it was pretty, honest. Go and check out his channel. He's like straight to the point, and he's got proofs. So, the conversation is pretty fun, just as you've seen in the video. But I think the FBA, black extremist wing, they have just now started discovering Frank Zanu, and they are pretty ticked off about, how dare you say, we don't have a culture. Mind you, think about this. If you believe like people's, like if you say no, that we got a culture, just debate that. But they're not gonna debate it. What they do is they're like, oh, you guys are trying to disrespect us. You notice with them, everything is about, oh, you are disrespecting us. That's their go-to every single time. That's their go-to every single time. Like, oh, you are being disrespectful. And if you notice, they get way more pissed off at if the person is African, because you see they have this fake superiority. They truly believe they are above Africans. When have you guys watched the Chappelle show? The Chappelle show. Chappelle used to do skits on Comedy Central. So there was this one, skit that he did, and it was Clayton Bixby. So Clayton Bixby was a blind child. and he was black. So they took him to the blind school, and in this blind school, he was the only black kid there. So they just told him he was white. So Clayton Bixby was there. He just became a bigot. He didn't like blacks. So he wrote a book. In this skit, he wrote a book, and then they brought out a journalist to come and interview him. So for example, Clayton Bixby is blind. He is at this blind school, and they told him he was white because they just wanted him to get along with the rest of the kids. But if outsiders see Clayton Bixby, they would know that Clayton Bixby is black. And that did happen. Clayton Bixby went into town, and he was in a car in in this one area, and apparently this is a sundown town. So some rednecks came, like they were just playing the part and started hitting on the car. And Clayton Bixby called them woogie boogie, the N-word, and they were confused. But when they told Clayton Bixby that he was black, he was very upset. He even divorced his wife for being an N lover. So that's what happened with, pretty much what that skit is depicting. What I picked from it is that's how FBA blacks are. You see, the whites in the entertainment, Hollywood, like the script is written, painted them as super talented, everything is controlled. So they are presented to the world, right? And because they are selling this, because the blacks themselves don't have control over it. So this is why when you ask about culture, they're like, oh, hip hop, or they will tell you about sports. But you see, the Hollywood people, the Democrats, control this, and everything is scripted. They made the blacks look like they are super cool. And when people come in reality, they come in contact with the blacks. I mean, not all, but most, they don't see that what it's painted. They don't see that, and the blacks get upset. So the Clayton Bixby thing was happening. The white people would try to block people from actually seeing what's happening. But no, now the internet just exposed it. But that's a whole different topic. I'm going to go into our topic today about Carmelo Anthony. He's a Hall of Famer now, basketball player. So, per usual, he made an announcement. And in this announcement speech, when he was receiving, his trophy for being a Hall of Famer, and the FBAs are not happy about this. You know how they always talk about delineation. People want to be FBA, want to attach to us. I mean, this is what they wanted, right? And it's through lineage. And on top of that, they are supposed to be the number one black that everyone wants to gravitate towards. But that's not what's happening here. FBA is very, very upset. Their leader, Tariq, is very upset at Carmelo Anthony. I mean, you wouldn't even, when you hear the speech, your mind would be blown. Because as far as, they presented things, they always say, oh, everyone wants to be like us. People want to claim us. They want to tether to us. But I guess the one tether blood rule is about to, take them out. So Carmelo Anthony speech, I'm going to play that here, and we are going to hear from Tariq, like what he's going to be crying about. So before we get into that, let me see here. So it is the delineation news. So before we get into that, let me introduce you to the delineation time.
Detrimental to an instrumental since your mom's had the first menstrual. Check my credentials penciled in with a pen gem right, and we some titans fighting men. When the time ripens for the hyper check, how we ascend. Blend well until.
All right. So that's the delineation news. So let us get straight into what Carmelo Anthony said. I mean, mind you guys, the crazy thing is, what the FBAs always say, what they accuse people of, you know, you won't see it here. So you're going to see that FBA themselves, they have nothing to attach to, because if you remove all the quote unquote non-FBA blacks, you know, it's beginning to look like they really don't have, you know, much people to cling onto, because they are getting heartbreak upon heartbreak. Because think about it, they base things on rap, basketball. All now they're beginning to see the best basketball players, they happen to be the people they call tethers. Oh, the rappers, you got people like Biggie, you know, and Tariq himself had made a documentary apparently saying that the Puerto Ricans have nothing to do with rap whatsoever. So you can see why Carmelo Anthony over here claiming his true lineage would piss them off. You know, people who are especially about lineage. So I don't want to keep you waiting. Let's hear what Carmelo Anthony is about to say here. Here we go.
So Puerto Rico, my blood, my soul, my heart. I carry the flag in my heart. I carry the island in my veins. When I wore those colors on my chest, I wasn't just playing basketball. I was honoring the heritage. I was honoring my father. I was honoring every Puerto Rican who's ever had to fight twice as hard to get as far. Puerto Rico, you gave me fire, you gave me soul, you gave me home. We are proud, we are powerful, we are present. This Hall of Fame moment belongs to the island, it belongs to us.
All right. So you guys seen and heard that Carmelo Anthony came, he represented his lineage. Because isn't that what they said? You know, everybody to, you know, represent their lineage. So Carmelo, you heard him. He said Puerto Rico is in his heart. You know, he carries it in his soul. He is representing his father. So that was his mother there, the FBA mother shaking her head. So you see, now remember what I was saying. So the FBA, because you see the lineage is the lineage is supposed to be through the father, because the father is who carries the lineage. But see, FBA want to switch it to the mother, because the mother is the one in charge, because the child's condition follows the mother's, because they used to do that. Like, because if you have a slave that's a female, if that child, the slave gives birth to children, that children also belongs to the slave master. So that culture was practiced during slavery. So the mother's condition applies to the child. But you see, Carmelo Anthony's father is Puerto Rican, which therefore makes him Puerto Rican. So now let's see what FBA is going to say. You see, the man he didn't just wake up today and started saying he's Puerto Rican. He's always represented his heritage as a Puerto Rican. But FBA being the real tethers, because they like to accuse people of tethering, don't you think they should embrace people practicing delineation? So let's see how their leader responds to this. And I would, give my 2 cents as we go. Here we go.
All right, round of applause for you. Welcome to the Tap In. I am Tariq. Round of applause in respect to the law. Glad to have everybody in here. We're ready to tap in and chop it up like we always do, ladies and gentlemen. Give me a nice retweet. That's first off rip. Give me a nice fly retweet. Let everybody know that we are indeed live. And before I start chopping it all up, let me give some shout outs to some of the regulars in here. I see Sweets, Anya Saru, Little Old Me, Amin X. We have KD. We have Brother Martin from Brazil. Delaren Dior in the building. We have Ty Powell, FBA Furball in the building. So shout out to you guys. And we will take calls early. We will take calls shortly. First thing I got to talk about, and I discussed this earlier on my YouTube live, but we're going to tackle it some more. We got to get into it. Carmelo Anthony. Oh, Carmelo Anthony. Shout out to Carmelo Anthony, got in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And a lot of people are talking about Carmelo Anthony's speech. He got.
So, guys, think about it for somebody who is all about the lineage, right? So Carmelo Anthony represented his lineage, and now FBA, they are offended. So do you guys see how FBA, they tether themselves to people? And then when those people, are like, they're not even against FBA, they're just showing, hey, I'm representing, my true self, my lineage, as they always say. But now they are very, very upset. How dare you, Carmelo, representing yourself? So here we go.
Him a big win in the Basketball Hall of Fame. And he got up there and did his speech, and he pulled one of them Zoe Saldanas. He became super Latino. Boy, he got up there and went on and on about Puerto Rico, and he's Puerto Rican, and he's Afro-Latino, and Puerto Rico runs through his veins, and he sprinkles Goya powder all over everything. It was just, he turned into Carlos Santana after he became a super Latino while giving his acceptance speech. And family, we've always said this. I cannot reiterate this enough. Boy, the minute these folks get any kind of win, I mean, any kind of win, they get a win, they start delineating and emphasizing whatever non-FBA ancestry they have.
So, guys, I thought the FBA are like the super blacks. Everybody wants to be FBA. So why is the leader of FBA, Tariq, upset at somebody delineating? Can you guys believe this? And they're supposed to welcome this delineation from, because they want their own delineation. This is FBA on the day of this announcement. They're about to show that look at one of our our FBA brothers about to receive his Hall of Fame honoring. As soon as he gave the speech, here's what happened. All right. Well, I don't want the FBAs to be upset, but let's hear more of them, crying about Carmelo openly, embracing who he is. He didn't even say anything about FBA. So FBA is mad that Carmelo didn't fake it. So here we go.
People go out of their way to delineate, and that's cool. Just don't complain when we do it. That's my issue. Do not complain when we do it. And here's the kicker with Carmelo Anthony. He's half foundational Black American. His mother is FBA. His mother is FBA. And from what I saw...
So you guys see what he's doing here? He said, when we do it, don't be upset. I have been telling you guys, FBA, they manufacture this so-called beef. They manufacture, just like the white people manufactured them as the super black and presented it. And if you've never made it to America, you see them on TV, you think that's what it is. Then you come here, you find out. So they are doing the same thing. Imagine being upset. So let's continue here.
She was in the audience and she was looking kind of funny.
So he is mad. He's like, he didn't even acknowledge FBA. And in this conversation, Tariq would tell us the truth, the real truth, that it is other people, it's FBA who's trying to tether themselves to other blacks. So here we go.
He's doing all of this Puerto Rican shit. He's shouting out Puerto Rico and Puerto Rico this, Puerto Rico that, and she's looking in the audience like, okay, I was up here raising your ass up here in the ghetto. Shit. Because the thing about Carmelo Anthony, his father's Puerto Rican, but his father died of like cancer when Carmelo was 2 years old. So Carmelo did not grow up in a Puerto.
So bingo. You see this? So Carmelo Anthony's father is Puerto Rican. So that's why he said, I carry this in my blood. But you see, this is why you notice like the FBA, when the ones that say they're Indian, have you noticed? When you ask them how they know they're Indian, it's always my grandma. You don't get carried the lineage through your grandma, through the mother, is through the father. You see? So the FBAs are the real tethers. They are trying to tether themselves onto Carmelo, when Carmelo is Puerto Rican. So this is what they've been trying to do with every group. So like what they do is they start like a fake beef. So when they start the fake beef, hoping that we'll do a back and forth, and then they'll be like, okay, why don't we unite? And then we ask, what's there to unite on? Oh man, you a sellout. How dare you say you are Puerto Rican when it turns out you are actually Puerto Rican? Did you guys ever know that Carmelo is Puerto Rican? So let's see here. FBA rule is not going to work. They want people to go by the mother. No, people go by the father here. So here we go.
Rican household. From what I understand, I know he was born in Brooklyn, but then they moved to Baltimore. Where my NBA fans, if I'm not mistaken? I think this is the case. I think he kind of didn't he grow up in Baltimore or live in Baltimore for a minute. So all of this super Puerto Rican stuff, where is that coming from? He's talking like he's Jennifer Lopez, the way he's talking, like he was just immersed in Puerto Rican culture.
Yeah, but he is like, if you go and check, you follow, you read about him, he has always represented Puerto Rico. So why is FBA's leader upset? And man, you should go like read the comments. Man, you would die laughing. I was like, I thought you guys were the best blacks. Everybody wants to claim FBA. Man, I'll let you guys hear this out. You would even feel sorry for their leader. Here we go.
And a lot of people are kind of feeling a certain way about that. A lot of people got questions. A lot of people are feeling a certain way. And then here's the thing. We got to understand something, family, when people turn into super Latinos or super Africans or super whatever, because they always do this. When they win an award, when they get something positive, they get something constructive, they really go out of their way to distance themselves from Black, particularly foundational Black American.
So you see, I told you, that is why is the leader of FBA sounding like a hurt ghetto hood rat? Oh, y'all just were hanging out with us until now. You winning. Now you distance yourself from us. He never said that. So they are upset that the man is saying, I'm a Puerto Rican. His father is Puerto Rican. They are super butthurt. Exactly, Audrey. And he's like, oh yeah, they try to start being, super African. So they are very hurt about people representing their lineage. So this is why they kept saying, oh, the lineage, trying to make it seem like you can just wake up, like, because they think the way they operate, like they can wake up one day and say, I'm Indian. The next day they are, something else. No, people just stick with who they are, and that's that. But he wants this man to fake it. So here we go.
Identity. We got to understand something. Let's. I'm gonna be fair. I'm gonna try to be as objective as possible. We got to understand mainstream media. They reward and incentivize non-FBA identity. And I'm not trying.
Here we go. So now all of a sudden, you guys remember everybody wanted to be like them, right? because apparently if you copy them, you pretend to be FBA, you get all the privilege. So now, mind you, he himself said Anthony's father is Puerto Rican. So he's not faking it, he's not pretending. It's not like one of them, they wake up and be like, oh, I'm a Cherokee because my grandma told me. It's not that. Even he himself confirmed that the man's father is Puerto Rican, which makes him one too. But no, now he has to flip it to make themselves feel good, which is dumb, by the way, to say, yeah, the mainstream, of course, they got to blame white people. Oh, these people are just pretending to, shout out their own heritage so that the white people can accept them. Do you see the logic here? Oh, yeah. Carmelo Anthony's father is not Puerto Rican. He's just pretending so that the mainstream, because apparently, them FBA, they are the super blacks. So if you say you are FBA, apparently that scares white people. You see how these people trip all over their own words? So let's hear more of it.
I'm gonna make excuses for Carmelo. I'm not, because you ain't got to get up there and turn into goddamn Tito Puente, and you didn't really grow up in that culture like that. But we got to understand mainstream society, they reward and incentivize people who promote some type of non-FBA identity. They reward.
But do you guys hear this? So apparently, if you are a non-FBA, then you get rewarded. Do you guys see, wouldn't that destroy their argument that they present to say people are pretending to be them? They are the best blacks, all these Africans, everybody's trying to be like them. So if there's no incentive in being them, why would people fake it? But today, all of a sudden, people don't want to claim FBA. It's not that the man is FBA, he is not. But they are mad that he's not claiming it. So being FBA is not so attractive after all. I've been telling you guys, being FBA, to them, they see it as disadvantage. It's like a plague. They want to force it upon people to make it attractive. But it's not, even to them. So here we go.
Anything that has proximity to stuff that's not FBA. So being Puerto Rican or Afro-Latino or anything adjacent to blackness, or that's not explicit, if it's not explicitly FBA, it can be seen as more palatable. Like, you need that FBA flavor. Here's the thing. You need some proximity to it, but not too much, because you got to get the flavor, because it's that FBA flavor. That's the thing that got you hot. Your look, your style, everything was FBA. When these people win music awards, you're emulating FBA culture, but then you get up there and shout out to the Philippines.
Here we go. You see, he is contradicting himself again. You know what? He thinks he can tap dance his way out of this. Do you guys think his feet is being educated in this episode? Let's give him the educated feet on this one. Let's give it to him.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, yeah, man. Boy, he got educated feet.
Yeah, Tariq thinks he can shuffle his way out of this one. He's tripping all over himself. They want delineation. The man didn't even mention them. But you see, they want to steal other people claiming, oh, they are FBA, but they are not FBA. A lot of the FBAs are the Pookies and Ray Rays, but they try to say those are the Tethers. But Carmelo over here is letting even Cardi B don't want to be FBA. So let's go.
I remember the artist Her, she was doing that. She won like a Grammy or something, and she was all on social media shouting out the damn Philippines for her R&B award. You see, you're immersed in our culture, but when it's time for the rewards and the benefits to come through, you kind of step back and try to put us in the closet so you can seem more exotic and palatable to the wider audiences.
Why does he sound so hurt, as if he's acting like, that's, isn't this confusing? They are like the super black that everyone wants to copy. But again, he's saying, yeah, y'all just want to associate with us. And then, you keep us in the closet because you don't want people to know. Do you guys see how crazy this sounds? Oh, yeah. So I've been telling you guys this entire time, FBA, they've been looking for therapy, for acceptance, but they just acting tough. So this is why when you represent your lineage, they get mad, and then they would turn around and insult you. They wouldn't even stop with you. They would insult the entire area. Let's say if you're Nigerian, they wouldn't even stop at Nigeria. They would just throw the missile at the whole of Africa. You see, that's their way of trying to be accepted. Look at it. They don't want the man to embrace his lineage. They used to say, oh, we just want you guys to embrace your lineage. But that's what everybody's doing. So the truth is coming out. Let's go.
So when a person like Carmelo Anthony, he does a speech to an elite institution like the Hall of Fame, and you go out of your way to emphasize some kind of foreign identity, that seems like a little safe PR move. Especially in rooms that silently tokenize foundation.
Puerto Rico is a U.S. territory. So Puerto Ricans are not foreigners here. It's a U.S. territory. Do you guys hear this? So Tariq sounds very, very hurt. They want to tether themselves to the people they call tethers. Look, FBA, if we've never rejected you, the people we call tethers. Just put your pride aside and, come on down, Come on down. Let's eat jollof rice. Let's eat goya, whatever. We're not stopping you. But pretending that you are the super blacks, nah, me no black papi. Carmelo just told y'all, me no black papi.
The Black American lineage is too political or too militant. You see? And a lot of these people, they want to avoid the too black, too proud label. See, they don't want to get that Colin Kaepernick action. You saw what happened to Colin. See, they made an example out of my brother Colin Kaepernick. They made an example out of him.
So let's see. Is the same rules going to apply? Because Colin Kaepernick, apparently his dad is black, right? And the mom is white. This is what they told us. But Colin Kaepernick was raised by white people, white families, straight white people. So Tariq is so hurt. Look at it. They don't even have real fighter on their team. They have to, claim Colin Kaepernick. We don't even know what race Kaepernick is, but we do know he's raised by white people. I've been telling you guys, white people are FBA saviors because Colin Kaepernick is white. Let's just be real. He's half-breed. He was raised by white people in the suburbs, so he's overcompensating. He's socialized. He was raised in white culture. So he came, he knew that he was about to be a flop in the NFL. We already saw that Colin Kaepernick, was, they put him in the bench for the full-blown white man. The white man was throwing, touchdowns upon touchdowns. Kaepernick, how many picks was Kaepernick throwing? He had one move, which was, he would outrun the defense. So, but once they figured him out, they shut him down. He can't throw. He can't get out of the pocket. All you gotta do is keep him in the pocket, and he started throwing pick sixes. Pick six upon pick six. He's like, oh, you know what I'm gonna do? I'm about to be pro-black. Let me, grow my afro. So this is who Tariq Tariq so confused. This is who he's like, man, you know, even Colin Kaepernick stood up for us. It's always people standing up for them. Always. But they swear that they are the fighters. Well, okay, Colin Kaepernick is white officially. And he's got an Egyptian girlfriend. Did you guys know Colin Kaepernick, he doesn't even have a Shaniqua. You know, he's got, you know, one of those, you know, hijab Egyptians. That's what he's got. So, but here we go.
They made a major example out of him. See, this is why my brother Colin Kaepernick should have just been 10 toes down and just went all the way. He got kind of radio silent and he still doesn't really do any media. And I think that hurt him in the long run. He should have just wore the blackness like a damn cloak and just went all the way in. Yeah, if you're gonna go all the way in. You see. But a lot of these mixed heritage celebrities, they know that celebrating your foundational Black American identities.
Wait, did he just say mixed heritage? Do you guys see in the previous sentence? Apparently, Colin Kaepernick is a hero and stuff. So now, you know, he's talking about mixed heritage. Colin Kaepernick is not mixed at all, right? Colin Kaepernick is not mixed. What is wrong with Tariq? So, obviously, Colin Kaepernick is mixed. So the FBA, there's no, you know, straight black up and say this is the FBA who's fighting. It's either whites or they're trying to cling onto Puerto Ricans. If they're not clinging onto Puerto Rican, they're clinging onto a Jamaican. If they're not doing that, they're clinging onto a Nigerian, you know, a Gambian. You know, they're always clinging onto somebody or the white man. But here we go.
Sometimes if you do it unapologetically, you'll get labeled as militant, divisive, or ungrateful. However, if you praise a Puerto Rican flag or some kind of African country's flag or something from a Caribbean island, you know, that gets framed as some kind of multicultural pride. So you love your FBA side privately, but you prop up the other side publicly. And understand, look, the white gatekeeper.
So FBA is it seems like they are the secret for foreign blacks. So foreign blacks don't want anyone like you. You deal with the FBAs privately, but you just don't claim them in public. This is what Tariq is saying. So now it makes sense. You know, FBA, they feel like, you know, they are like this, you know, the tethers, people they call tethers, only want to talk to them in secret when there's no white people. But once whites are there, you know, we just distance ourselves. That's what Tariq wants you to believe. So here we go.
They promote the ethnic buffer. You know, Hollywood, sports leagues, and music labels, they favor the black adjacent individuals who are kind of racially ambiguous or mixed, but only if they minimize that Black American identity.
So, you mean like Colin Kaepernick?
Those gatekeepers, they love pushing that Afro-Latino or that biracial narrative because that gives the illusion of diversity without the threat of foundational Black American activism or political consciousness. Because see, these celebrities, they internalize that. They say, so when you win, you better represent the safe side.
So you guys are seeing his basis is not even like his argument is not based in reality. So he is heartbroken over a man claiming who he truly is. So now he's trying to say, oh no, these people are just claiming where they are from, you know, because it's safe side for the whites. So you want to tell us you're constantly presenting yourself as you guys are a dangerous group. So when people point that out, you deny it, you get upset. Why would people want to associate with people who are constantly telling everyone how dangerous they are? It's like self-rejection ahead of time because they feel like people are going to reject them. That's what it is. Like giving all the different excuses as to why Carmelo, who's a, you know, Puerto Rican, claiming to be one. Look at him. He put the Goya bottles in his hand. So here we go.
And delineation, it becomes a one-way street. See, foundational Black American individuals who try to delineate or celebrate their unique heritage, you're told you're being too divisive. Now, when some type of mixed ethnicity celebrity, they remove that FBA side from the conversation altogether and they uplift that non-FBA identity, that's like, oh, that's so diverse. Oh, multiculturalism. So that creates a cultural gaslight. See, we get penalized if we say, hey, shout out to the foundational Black Americans. What is this shit? What is this, nigga? This is divisive. Oh, you get up there with shout out to Puerto Rico. And, oh, yeah.
I knew he would have to fake that, bring Africans into it. If you tell FBA for them to do their shows, don't mention whites and Africans, they wouldn't have any show. I guarantee you. I guarantee you. So Carmelo Anthony is Puerto Rican. He claims it. How did African accent come into this? But here we go.
Yes, nigga. Puerto Rico is the best. Yeah, you get praise for doing that. And let's be real. Some of this shit, when you do that foreign lineage thing, they look at that as somewhat of a brand booster. You saying you're Afro-Latino, Afro-Cuban, or Blasian. That has more, to them, has more branding potential than saying, well, I'm just a Black American, see. But that's changing now because, see, we have uplifted and celebrated and prioritized and placed more value on Black American lineage. And we're mainstreaming that praise now.
But if it's so awesome, so you notice, I've been telling you guys, even when they claim that there's this beef, you notice they're the only ones, oh, diaspora beef. They want to beef with people so much. There is no beef. The beef is, imagine, they don't want you to claim who you are, because when you do, they're like, man, you're rejecting FBA. They think they control it. Oh, Rom, thank you for the Cash App. I just saw that. Thank you for your contribution, for supporting the show. Thank you. Guys, don't forget to hit the Cash App, super chats, and likes. That helps, with the show too. Thank you. So, guys, he is very upset at this. How dare you claiming to be yourself? And I guarantee you, if he had said, oh, claim FBA, they would have turned around and be like, man, you see, they're trying to hijack our identity. So let's hear Tariq cry some more before I open the lines.
You see. And also, it's an escape hatch from accountability. See, if you overemphasize the non-FBA lineage, that gives these celebrities a buffer from being expected to speak up on Black American issues, like police brutality, reparations, systematic racism, or whatever. So when challenged, they can just say, well, I'm not really a Black American. I'm Afro-Latino.
Bingo. So this is what it's about. When they say unite, this the FBA, they always say they are the fighters. So the only thing they cry about, they want foreign Blacks and others to fight for them. You see? He's like, oh yeah, these people, they would just claim this false identity so that they wouldn't have to fight for quote unquote FBA. What does that even mean? So it's like 1 minute they are fighters, another minute, other people are supposed to fight for them. Oh, 1 minute they are Black, African, another minute they delineated, next, sometimes they are Choctaw Indian, sometimes they are Hebrews, Moors, Kemites, anything but African, you see? But now, I guess next minute, Blackfoot, that's my tribe, Audrey. Don't be bringing up my tribe over here. But here we go.
So they don't have to speak on the culture that carried them. Yeah? That's what the song They Not Like Us is about, how they were getting on Drake. Yeah, because Drake is never really, he doesn't really get too political, or if I'm not mistaken, Drake has a long catalog of records, but I haven't heard anything that's so racially taboo that he's spoken about. Yeah. And another thing with this praising the non-FBA side, there's this conditioned self-erasure. See, America teaches Black people to be ashamed of.
See, Drake, Drake is another one that, so ahead of time they know like Drake is not, he don't want to claim all, the identity they pushing. So the preemptive is like, no, he's Canadian, Okay, cool. The way he's Canadian, and mind you, his dad is Black American. This other man's dad is Puerto Rican, but they low key they want to claim him. They are very upset at this. So, in the chat, they're like, oh, now that he's shown himself, we are also going to hold our support. FBAs, they are so jealous. My goodness. So the man, you liked him until now, he's Puerto Rican. So you notice they are the ones that hate on other people. Imagine saying, yeah, I used to like you until I know you're Puerto Rican, so now I don't like you anymore. So they hate on other people. So here we go.
Being descendants of freedmen and people who were enslaved. And then that shame is supposed to get passed down generationally. So even if your mother is 100% foundational Black American, the narrative of choosing a more foreign, glamorous identity other than the slave legacy, which Puerto Rico was a slave damn colony too. It was a slave colony before this was.
Bingo. This is what it is. I've been telling you guys. FBAs, they want to outrun, slavery. They want to outrun their slavery history, not realizing you cannot outrun who you are. Okay? You can't outrun yourself. I mean, like, you guys remember some people make the argument, oh, yeah, some Africans were slaves too, picking cotton. Show me the plantations in West Africa where the whites had plantations and making Africans pick cotton. No one is blaming or mocking anyone's lineage here, but they feel so insecure about it. So you see, he's like, oh yeah, Puerto Rico had slavery. This man did not come here talking about slavery or non-slavery, but I know at some point they would bring that up. They're doing it to that one, light-skinned South African lady singer. So in South Africa, her classification is colored. But over here, like, she claimed who she is, and now they are upset. Oh, you think you better than us? Because what they are saying is they think when you claim who you are, you're pretending so that, you are saying you're better than them. You are not a slave. But nobody's thinking that. They keep bringing that up. They are very insecure about the slavery thing for whatever reason, as if it's, people's fault. And none of these people have ever been slaves themselves. But here we go.
It was a slave colony. Yeah. So it's there's that deep-rooted, internalized anti-FBA bias, which is a learned response to white supremacy. You see, and a lot of people, they fear losing access to that machine, to those elite circles that will give you benefits. See, once
so you see, so FBA, they continuously contradict themselves. They said they're the ones that, put the opportunities on the table. So this is why when the tethers come here, they tether themselves onto FBA so they can collect the benefits. But now he's saying, these foreign blacks are tethering themselves to the white man, because if not, they're not going to get the benefits. Which one is it? So FBA all along was trying to, gaslight people, trying to blackmail foreign blacks into buying into their ideology. But people are like, nah, man, you ain't got nothing to present. No, but we created all this for you. Then, but what did you create? But you are begging the white man. We are seeing this ourselves every day. So what did you create? You haven't created anything. So this is why at some point he has to tell the truth. He's like, oh yeah, they gravitate towards the white man because that's where the benefits are. He is telling us his own way of thinking. People are not thinking this, but that's what he is thinking. and many other FBAs. Oh, they're trying to steal our reparations. That's why they say things like this, because that's their way of thinking, the FBAs. So here we go.
An entertainer gets that Hall of Fame ring or that Grammy or that Oscar, you're now part of an elite club. So foundational Black American pride, especially when it's loud and unapologetic, see, that might make the machine see you as a pet. So they stay inside the circle. They downplay that FBA identity and highlight that other side so they can seem less threatening. This is why I give so much praise and props to our good brother Ryan Coogler. Ryan Coogler had the #1 movie in the
guys. How many awards did Will Smith receive? Isn't he from a FBA? People from enslaved background. Denzel Washington, and Michael Jordan, many more. So Tariq is not making any sense here. Mike Tyson, Michael Jackson, so it's not about your background. That's not what it is. It's about the person's talent. So LeBron James, he's of FBA lineage. He's a great basketball player. But you see, if LeBron comes, Tariq will be like, oh, it's because of their FBA, DNA. But if it's these other people, they're just claiming their lineage because they want to, get some crumbs from massa. So the double standard here is appalling. So here we go.
World stood out there and said unapologetically, I'm a foundational Black American multiple times. You understand? #1, he did that because the grassroots movement that was backing that up, and also his movie was phenomenal, and he beautifully portrayed foundational Black American culture. See, that's how you do it. You got to play all these little goofy ass.
But what is the foundational American culture, Black culture? People have been asking these questions, but they can never give you the answer. African man said, so FBA can acknowledge the minuscule Native American blood in them, but Carmelo can't acknowledge his father's heritage. Exactly. Yeah, think about it. Like, these people would sit there and try to explain to you how, their great-great-grandma is Choctaw or Cherokee, where, you can't even prove it, right? But this man whose father, his direct father, the man he came from, yeah, he can't, he's not, he's a traitor. How dare he acknowledge who he is? You see how lost these people are? But they want you to subscribe to this. If you don't, then you're a sellout. You're following the white man's way. You can't win with them. So here we go.
Games. And again, I understand some people got to play the game. And again, in sports, they make examples out of cats. They made an example out of our good brother, Colin Kaepernick. So that scared a lot of people. Hey, don't get too black. Oh, if you get too black, there's going to be some punishment there. You might get blacklisted. But family, this is the thing. I want y'all to understand. We should uplift and praise that foundation of Black American lineage unapologetically. You understand? It's very important that we are not ashamed, that we embrace that lineage and prop it up publicly, loud, unapologetically.
So guys, you hear this? So Carmelo acknowledging who he is, his lineage, what does that have to do with them, quote unquote, oh, we have to be proud and uplift our lineage. We shouldn't be ashamed of it. Did Carmelo mention FBA in his speech even one time? Did he say anything about them being proud or not being proud of who they are? He didn't mention anyone. So they feel insecure. This is the truth.
In spite of the dominant society feeling threatened by that, because we're the only people whose lineage is threatening to people. Just the acknowledgement of our lineage is threatening to people. I told y'all before, y'all heard me talk about this before. There was an executive around 2009, 2010 in specific. At the time, there was several television networks trying to give me a television show. They wanted me to do dating and relationship shows because that was my thing, and my books were based on that. And I had like a bunch of different pilots going on. They were really trying to give me a show. And I was at this.
So he's doing his sales speech to the blacks. So everything's got to be about him. And, you know, they are so influential. You know, people are trying to stop them. So let's hear the sales speech by, you know, proving to the blacks that he is their leader. The link is in the chat. Hit the link and join me.
Executive's office, and they heard about me doing the Hidden Colors movie because I was working on Hidden Colors because I saw that we need to counter this stuff that's coming out in Hollywood. Remember 2008, 9, 2010. Y'all remember the movies that were out at the time? The movies that were out at the time, remember, was Precious, The Help, The Blind Side, 12 Years a Slave. We kept getting all of these movies that just showed us in real janky positions. There was no balance. If we're going to show that, there has to be a balance. So the movies weren't that empowering. And all of these movies had, if it was something remotely empowering, there was a white savior trope in there. So I understood that these movies were very bad on the black psyche. So I decided, I said, we got to be unapologetic with this shit. We got to counterbalance Precious. I mean, they're propping up.
Guys, are you hearing this? Precious? So he's saying the movie is janky. Precious was a real representation. What is he talking about? The slave movies, you know, 12 Years of Slave and all that. Like, I mean, yeah, he's right. Like, we were tired of seeing, you know, every day, you know, new slave movie. I agree. But he didn't make it any better. You know, he didn't make it any better. I mean, they like talking about slavery era. The white people are like, you know what? Let's give them slave movies. They did Precious, 12 Years of Slave. I mean, he's right. Like, during those times, man, I've been like, when I saw Precious, I was like, man, they've done the FBA's wrong here. They look janky in this film. And once I'm trying to cool off from that, I was depressed about that movie. Next thing you know, they hit us with 12 Years of Slave. You know, while we're cooling off with that, they hit you with Django Unchained. I mean, yeah, I get it, you know, but let's see what type of movies he came up with, you know. So now he's like, yeah, man, they're hitting us, making us look janky. So now we're going to create a fictional history and make ourselves what we are not. So here we go.
Movies like this, that's a horror movie. That's a horrible movie. That's a horror movie. This is something that white people like to see, this black dysfunction porn. I said, we have to balance that. And I said, I'm going to do a documentary with all the people that I like and love. Dr. Wilson, Shahrazad Ali, Dr. Kaba. I'm going to get all of these phenomenal.
Oh, yeah. You know, all those smart FBA historians, because, you know, those people know history so much. They are not biased. They are not in their feelings. They are so accurate about history. Mind you, you can't even figure out the country you live in, but somehow you want to explain tens and tens of thousands of, like 3,000 years ago, you know, like they always skip that part. They would say he made movies, quote unquote, saying that he is like they are Olmecs. You know, in this movie, they are everything. Olmecs, you know, eventually here, some of them say they're Aborigines, you know. So, but when you mention, like, you're like, oh, I think you guys are from around Nigeria and, you know, West Africa. Shut up. You guys don't know, you know, we are not, you know, we can't be like you dusty Africans. You know, we weren't even slaves. That never happened. It's a lie. And the next minute, we want reparation for slavery. So yeah, he claimed that was a documentary. But how real was that documentary? And the same, he made a documentary about Haiti, 1804. But now go and hear him talk about Haiti. But here we go.
Scholars and just talk about Black history unapologetically. We ain't playing no games. We ain't gonna sanitize nothing. We gonna go hard damn body and then go in on white supremacy in the process. And the buzz was going around that I was doing the film, and they were trying to talk me out of it in the Hollywood circles. They would.
Tariq, come on. So white people were scared of Tariq putting out the hidden color. In this hidden color, Dr. Umar is one of the scholars that they're interviewing. So it's like all these YouTubian historians. Yeah, this is who the white people are scared of. Well, it's out there. What's there to be scared of? The white people were laughing. Guys, the link is in the chat. Do not hesitate to hit the link to come join the conversation. All right.
And I was getting offended because I never forget, I was at this executive's office, and she's Chinese American. And she was saying, "Oh yeah, we heard about this movie project you're working on. Something about Black history that might be offensive. That might be too much. It might be seen too radical. You probably shouldn't do that because we're gonna have."
Guys, why would think about this? Why would a Chinese person ever say to a Black person who said they're making documentary about their own Black history, even be comfortable saying that? That makes no sense. Why would a Chinese care if you make some documentary about your own history? Nobody cares. There's plenty of documentaries about Blacks. So Tariq is just, he's just lying to his followers. But this is what they love. This is what they bought into. They think everybody, all eyes on them. People want to be like them. This is what they truly believe. And they also believe people want to stop them from doing whatever, which I'm not sure. But that's the belief. And Tariq plays on it. You can clearly see that's what he's doing.
Sponsors for this show that we're trying to get you. Now she's saying all this shit to me, and I'm looking on her wall. She had a big ass Chinese flag, and I remember just being offended by that. I just got very offended that this woman was telling me I should downplay my history and my heritage, and she got this big ass Chinese flag in her office. And I'm like, okay, no, I'm about to do this. I'm about to go all the way in. So we did Hidden Colors and the rest of this damn history. Because my thing is, I'm like, I gotta go hard body with this. I got to go all the way in, and that's what we damn did. Sometimes you got to do that. You got to have that kind of respect for your lineage. You understand? And we got to stop being afraid. Let's not, every time somebody get an award, you shouting out the Philippines, you shouting out the South African pygmies, you shouting out every damn body. And then when we say, hey,
Oh, sorry, I was muted. Did you guys see him do the little weave, the grifting weave? Oh yeah, she got a big flag. Everybody's giving shout out to all kinds of. And he said, yeah, you're giving shout out to South African pygmies. So when it comes to Africans, so these days it's about South Africans, the Tyler lady. So anything that they think they consider as insult, now they're going to be hurling it at South Africa. So that's what he's doing, in case you haven't caught it.
About the foundation of Black Americans, all of a sudden it gets into this divisive talk. Listen, always give props and praise to your foundational Black American lineage. Why? Foundational Black American history is not just history. It is American history. From the forced labor that built the wealth of this nation to civil rights movements that redefined democracy. Foundational Black Americans, we are the foundation upon which this country stands. So to deny that heritage, that
really, America's foundation is built by white Protestant Christians. Well, they said that sometimes they say some of their founding fathers are not Christian, but it's built on Christian values. Clearly a white Western civilization. That's what it's built upon. But clearly, he's now trying to say this is built upon, their plight here in America. He's all over the place. With FBA, they have to be the superhero. They cannot share the work with anyone. They have to take all the credit. Nobody did anything. It's just them. So here we go.
That's really erasing the moral and economic engine that made the United States a superpower. If the dominant society feels uncomfortable with that, that's their damn burden. That's not your burden. Your job, you speak the truth. See, when you acknowledge your foundational Black American lineage, that diminishes and dismantles the erasure that they're trying to do, because they've been trying to erase our history. They're trying to erase what they did. They're trying to erase us. This is why whenever they
look, guys, this is funny. Like I'm reviewing these videos, but do you guys think Tariq even believes what he is saying? I mean, I'm listening to this video and I'm breaking it down. Tariq is just making up anything as he goes. This tells you even Tariq, like what he thinks of FBA intelligence. People he's calling FBA, their level of intelligence. Like, are you guys listening to this? Tariq is not making any sense. Exactly, Gwe. He's using FBAs to take care of his Latino queen. I think they said is a mix, white, Jewish, and Black. So, and I guess she's half Haitian apparently. So Tariq himself loves tethers. Why didn't he get him a Black queen? You know, from the slave lineage, as he likes to put it. So Tariq does not believe in what he is saying. He's just, you know, saying whatever comes to his mind. And these people are buying this. I mean, you got to ask yourself, what is wrong with these people's self-esteem to where someone has to sit in front of them like this and just lie to them, massage their ego? All this from a man whose father is Puerto Rican and he acknowledges who he is. Now all of a sudden that turned into a diss to FBA. So he's playing them. He is playing the FBAs. He does not believe in this. I highly doubt it. But I just want to show you the comedy show. Let's continue.
They do stories about us or movies about us. They go get some old weird ass Cynthia Erivo or somebody to try to portray us, and it's not going to have the same spiritual capital in the film. You understand? Acknowledgement that dismantles erasure. See, every time a foundational Black American identifies themselves proudly and specifically as a foundational Black American, that disrupts centuries of erasure.
Oh, here we go. He does not believe in this. This is a damn lie. John, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Hey, what's up, man? I sent you a comment. I wrote a comment in your chat the other day. You were live, man.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Last time I talked to you, man, and Stanley really misbehaved himself. He was an FBA through and through.
Yeah. Well, he should call into the show and come and answer this question. John, why is a leader of FBA, you know, it's like upset that Carmelo Anthony, whose father is Puerto Rican, and he is claiming who he is? Why is FBA taking this as an offense on them?
Well, you know, what's interesting is, you know, I don't follow a lot of basketball, so, you know, other people may know this a little bit better than me. But it seems to be to me, and I'm looking at it from the outside looking in, right? I don't follow a lot of basketball. The Blacks are kind of losing their hold on basketball, the Black Americans. They seem to be, you look at the Steph Currys of the world, the Klay Thompsons. For all this time, you know.
Well, they've been getting represented by the, you know, by the half-breeds. You know, right. Look at even Tariq, for, you know, he's crying. You know, he couldn't point at any so-called full FBA. He has to point at Colin Kaepernick, a white man. Colin Kaepernick was raised by white people. He is half white. So
I don't even know if
he is
Colin
white.
Kaepernick has any black in him, but you know, we'll
Exactly. I mean, like I'm questioning it. Colin
I
Kaepernick
think he's
might be.
Arab.
I think that's what I think too. How- Colin Kaepernick. Look, John. Why is it easy for everyone to be able to pull identity fraud on FBA people? You know, why are they begging for acceptance?
Man, you know, I mean, look at basketball here. You know, the damn Puerto Ricans are taking it over, the mixed breeds, the Europeans, and by and large, you know, what it seems to me, and again, I don't follow a lot of basketball. I mean, these people are learning the fundamentals of the sports, and the blacks are just not really learning the fundamentals. Carmelo was a pretty good shooter, apparently.
Yeah.
So you know.
So, but John, what do you make of the FBA being upset about Carmelo, you know, giving the speech and representing his father's lineage?
Well, you know, I think again, you know, it's like they you know, from my perspective, I would have guessed that they're losing their grip on basketball.
No, not only basketball, but they are saying that people, apparently Africans, everybody want to tether onto them. But they said the moment people win, you know, apparently, you know, we keep them in the closet. Other blacks don't claim them. You know, that's when people start saying, I'm from Nigeria, I'm from Jamaica, I'm from Puerto Rico. Why is, John, can you hear me? Oh, you're far away.
I can hear you.
Yeah.
I just slid to the beer.
So they want people to delineate. And now the man, you know, is repping his true lineage. Shouldn't FBA welcome it?
Nah, I mean, you know, like I think that they've kind of tethered themselves to the success of others.
Thank you. That's exactly what it is. They try to tether themselves onto people's success and then act like they are butthurt when those people say, oh, I'm Puerto Rican, I'm Jamaican. They're like, oh yeah, you don't want to claim FBA.
I mean, they can't be butthurt with the Jamaicans, bro. Because the Jamaicans, you know, I live in Brooklyn, man. The Jamaicans, like, it's a clear line that the blacks can't tether themselves to that.
Right.
The Jamaicans' roots are a little bit too strong. It would be like blacks trying to say they're Nigerian or something. But the Puerto Ricans are kind of down on the level with the blacks in New York. You know, they kind of, you know, socialize together. But, you know, as things get, you know, shit, who the hell wants to be black today? You know, things are going so bad. You got black.
So John, do you think more blacks know that people don't want to, you know, claim being black? And then
I think maybe
they turn around and try to make it cool to pretend that people are actually low-key saying they are black when they are not black. Because I see even the blacks themselves want to run away from being black, which is why they claim being Cherokee, Choctaw. Oh,
that shit's so ridiculous,
Israelite, right?
That shit's fucking ridiculous, bro.
Yeah.
Claiming to be Indian is crazy as hell to me, you know, but that's just me.
So do you claim FBA by any chance?
I'm just black, man. You know, I don't get off into those labels. You know what I'm saying? Like, to be honest with you, like, I probably would say, hey, I'm more American than black. You know, I've been living in New York, man. Yeah, I've been to Puerto Rico. Hell, Puerto Ricans got their own food. Mofongo. I don't even like that shit. I don't like mofongo. So that's their food. You know, the blacks in America, we really don't have a food per se, a mofongo of our own. And so now that he's kind of separating themselves, you know, there's a culture that he can run to. There's a language, right?
But he's always been, he's always claimed being Puerto Rican.
Oh, has he? I didn't know that. Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, look, the blacks, it's not like he just woke up one day like the blacks do. Like they can wake up today, they're Indian, you know. Tomorrow, who knows? They might claim they are from Mars. Like, who knows?
Well, you think about it like this. I forget what I was about to say, but you know, as the the other immigrant groups become stronger and the blacks become weaker, then it only makes sense that they would start to embrace their own kind of groups, and at this point, it's probably just as beneficial to be Puerto Rican as it is to be black. While he's in the league, maybe he goes along with the, I never really heard him say much about the Puerto Rican thing. I didn't follow him, but now that he's whatever, he's getting this award or whatever, and someone says his ex is Puerto Rican. I'm assuming his ex is Puerto Rican too. The Lala lady?
Yeah.
She looks like she's
see, there you go.
Mm-hmm.
So the man kept to who he is, his lineage.
Mm-hmm.
Colin Kaepernick. I'm guessing Colin Kaepernick. He's probably Egyptian because he's got an Egyptian, woman. I mean, when is the blacks going to wake up and stop tethering themselves onto other people?
Well, I think as I say, man, like if you don't tether to someone else, then you got to have something, a foundation of your own. And by and large, man, my profession, I'm a landlord.
Yeah, how's that going now? How are you dealing with the blacks there?
So
I know your tenants are black.
The majority of them, the thing is, I have to separate them to the best of my ability.
What do you mean?
Blacks and whites live totally fucking different, bro.
Right.
Totally different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so they're different people in many, many ways. You may get a black that acts like a white, but he has to act like a white person. But he probably can fit just right in with the blacks. You can't really put many white people in a house with blacks. You know what I'm saying? Like,
how so?
I'll play you a recording of today. And just it's a quick recording, but it really highlights that blacks will live in trash, right? Straight trash. Listen.
You go out every week. What happened that changed? That's what there's no answer to.
But let me ask you the question. You see the trash you stacked up down there, right? Downstairs.
Right now, yes.
Yes, right? And you just walked up the stairs.
I did, yes.
Right?
Recovering on my day off from limping.
Right. But there are people that are sick, that are hurt, they go through life, and they still take their trash out.
When there's communication that no one's going to help anymore.
Okay, but
that didn't happen.
Okay,
it just stopped.
But let me ask you a question. How high would the trash have to pile up to the ceiling before you said that?
I'll move out before I have to limp on my day off.
Did you hear that? The motherfucker said, I will move out.
He doesn't want to take his own trash out?
Right, yeah.
Why? Because he's recovering from work?
I don't know. I have no fucking idea, man. Like,
wait, when you said you're gonna let the trash pile, is it a lot of trash?
Yeah, I can show you a picture. It's like, yeah.
Wait.
It's about 7 feet tall.
Wait, so what was his reason? Like he's not disturbed by the trash, like it's not smelling, like
it's right there by his room. It's right there by his room. The people from
his
upstairs,
room?
Right by his room, yeah. The people from upstairs bring it downstairs and leave it in the kitchen. His room is off the kitchen. And he just throws it there too. That's one of the things, man. Blacks will live in filth, man. I've highlighted it on my channel. They will straight live in filth if you let them. You know what I mean? And you heard him. He said, "Fucking, I move before I take the trash out."
Man, that's.
And you know what's crazy? When he walks out the front door, it's a trash can like 10 feet away to his right, at the bus stop. It's one across the street. Like,
so why are you renting to him?
He's a decent guy otherwise.
He's what?
He's a decent guy otherwise.
He lets the trash pile up. How can he be decent?
There are some blacks that are much, much worse. Much, much worse. I could at least talk to him. He ain't threaten me. He just said, "Yo, I ain't gonna take the trash out." Some of these motherfuckers are threatening you, man. Like, fuck you, nigga, I'll kill you. I've had calls like that over, they're threatening to kill you. You know what I'm saying? Like, they're threatening to get somebody else to kill you. That's really what it's like dealing with blacks. You can't put them in the house with whites because, again, he's not going to take out the trash. The whites will, but as soon as the whites be like, damn, I keep taking out his trash. I'm not going to keep doing this, so I'll just move.
So no community building spirit.
You want to hear it? Yeah, because I asked him. I said, "It's 3 of y'all in here. Have y'all even considered coming up with a plan to take the trash out?" No, he said no. It's 3 blacks, and they can't figure it out. Very
Wait,
bad.
so did the other blacks don't want to take it either?
They won't do it. The blacks are not going to. Typically, not all of them. Again, not all.
Not all, but most.
But the problem is, even if it's not all, let's say you get 3 blacks, and one doesn't want to take the trash out, the other 2 are going to feel some kind of way constantly taking out his trash.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, it's not going to be fair, of course.
Right. It's not going to be fair. So
Right.
sooner or later, those people are going to say, "Damn, man, I'm tired of taking out your trash. So fucking I ain't taking out the trash anymore." But someone's going to still be putting trash in their trash can. The individuals will take their collective trash, their individual trash out, but the collective trash in the kitchen or in the common areas will collectively keep building because someone's going to throw trash in there because they're not. That's going to be a person that doesn't want to take the trash.
Is it
out.
like a community living?
Community kitchen, yeah. Communal bathroom, yeah.
Is it like a halfway housing?
These are working class blacks. These aren't like homeless blacks. These are people that you see in your restaurants, fast food restaurants. That's why I don't eat fast food anymore. I ain't eaten this shit in years. Maybe a pizza or something like that, where you don't have like the blacks. But fuck no, if I see a black in a restaurant, I'm not going in there because they probably are my tenants and I know how they live.
So maybe, is this the type of blacks that Tariq caters to on the internet, who they know other people don't want to be like them, so they are upset?
Man, before I get to that, man, my lady's African. One of my ladies is African. And so I'm going to back up by saying this. Africans, by virtue of, and this is just my opinion from my experience, it could be wrong, but there's an extra emphasis on cleanliness because there could be threat of disease.
Of course.
Would you say that's fair?
Yes.
At least the
Blue Jay, welcome in the house. Go ahead.
At least the West Africans that I know. Well, the Black Americans, by and large, have not fought disease here. You understand?
Yeah.
So the cleanliness, where would that come from? It would have to be within. They haven't fought off any diseases where they got to be clean. So their houses typically are filthy because they haven't. What would have been the impetus for them to be clean? The white man has solved all their problems in that way. He solved tetanus and.
Oh man, they invented that it's not the white man. You're making the blacks upset.
Well, but so that's what I see, like from a cleanliness standpoint. My African lady, she goes overboard. Wash your hands, wash your hands, wash your hands. Could be, the consideration that there could be some airborne or some disease on your hands, bacteria, or whatever.
But the blacks said they taught the white people how to bathe from the.
Well, they forgot how to do it.
Maybe they should teach them how to. They taught the whites how to take trash out too.
Man, it's crazy, man. Like, it's interesting again with the blacks. I grew up catering to white people. That's how my grandmother made her living. Clean up after white people and shit like that. Today, you couldn't pay a black person to clean up after a white person. The Hispanics more or less do it for everyone now. And so, if you're not that smart and you're black, but you got able body, you can go clean somewhere. They're not even in the market anymore. No one would even consider them. And so the Hispanics more or less are just taking a very lucrative market, cleaning someone's house.
Oh yeah, I see all the the companies that the cleaning companies they set up.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's owned by Hispanics. Lucrative business.
One day I was on the string and I said, let me see if I can find a cleaner. And you think in a black ass city like where I live, it'd be a bunch of blacks out here cleaning houses. Couldn't find one, and the Hispanics were so busy that I couldn't even find them to do it on the spot.
Right.
And so if they're that much demand that they're so busy that they can't take same day cleanings, then there's room for somebody. But the blacks, by and large, I think they much rather work a job, cleaning. Hell, they much rather work for a hotel cleaning up than working for somebody in somebody's house cleaning.
Because they think they are slaves.
Well, I think the other thing is that you can half-ass cleaning in a hotel, where you can't half-ass clean in someone's house. You're dealing directly with the customer. Versus if you half-ass clean in a hotel, you know, guests don't really complain in a hotel the way they may in an Airbnb, for instance. An Airbnb guests are going to be thorough. Hotel guests, maybe not so much.
Man, that's maybe Tariq should talk about that.
That would be a problem. You know what? He should start building houses, because as these immigrants come here, they're not going to rent to blacks, and that's going to be a very.
Wait, you think eventually the blacks, most people will not rent to them?
Fuck no, ain't nobody renting no blacks, man. You fucking crazy, man. No, who would rent to them? Like, man, all you gotta do is follow my stream. And look at, just go to some of the phone calls I've taken from blacks. Listen to some of the threats, how broke they are. And if you listen to some of my people, my friends and things that call in that rent to Section 8, which is primarily black, they don't want to deal with the blacks anymore. And those are the problem. That's like the last link on the chain there. The Section 8, and many blacks don't want to deal with it. You know, the entitlement of the blacks and dealing with the government at the same time. You just don't want to do it.
And this is like in Baltimore?
No, this is in DC.
Oh, how's the cleanup going with President Trump sending in the... Oh, sorry, let me read this real quick. Supergirl, thank you for the super chat. She said, fascinating discussion. Thank you for the super chat. All right.
You know, I haven't seen much of the National Guard, to be quite honest. I've been in New York for like the last couple of weeks. But when I got back in DC, the Union Station was very, very clean. No homeless. I didn't see one homeless person. It used to be overrun with homeless people. So there's that. You know, that's an easy problem to solve. It's a private building. But the government more or less had kind of, let's say, shifted the homeless there, if that makes sense.
Right, of course.
You put them in a train station where it's open all night, and you don't have to house them you don't have to build shelters and stuff like that. But I would say, you know, more or less housing, you know, I've had it on my stream. Go ahead.
So you're saying, you know, more and more immigrants that are owning houses, eventually they won't rent to the blacks.
No, hell no. Hell no. Hell no. Bro, like I interviewed a dude in Times Square. He was a Florida broker. He said Hispanics are buying houses within a year of arriving. Within a year. This is in Florida, Ocala, Florida, Tampa. Within 1 year. You got blacks been here 300 years?
Right.
And you still can't figure it out? You think those same people that's buying houses, scraping to buy a house, going to turn around when they decide to move out and rent to a black? What? They got their own people. Right. My next door neighbor's an Eritrean. He say he's going to live upstairs and rent downstairs. He's not going to rent to a black. Trust me. They have their own network of people. They don't have to go out to the open market. A lot of these immigrant groups. That's another thing that.
You think the blacks are going to start crying that it's racism?
Mm-hmm. Because it won't be whites. It'll be other groups. You know, you see the same thing.
But they're still going to claim some sort of discrimination.
It'll fall on deaf ears because it'll be other groups of people, and those will be like networks. The way white people rent housing, or even let's just say Americans, is you put an ad on Craigslist, Facebook, something like that.
Right.
If you're an immigrant, you got a network of people.
That's true. Right? Yeah, you know somebody that knows somebody.
Right. You may have your workers need rooms. The last house I sold was to an immigrant guy, and he was housing all of his workers there. That's a house that will never be occupied by blacks, and this is a black neighborhood. And so on and on it goes. You know, the blacks just aren't even in place to be able to own these properties to rent to other blacks. You know, that's the way it's going to go, in my opinion.
So what are the blacks going to do?
I think a lot of them probably would go to cheaper towns. The ones that, some of them, the majority of them probably will just continue to drown in these inner cities where the rents will just swallow them, because the blacks, unlike any other group of people, they can't live around. They are in a perpetual motion of trying to stay away from other blacks. That's a very interesting thing. I live around.
Right. Yeah. So Tariq saying, oh yeah, it's other people coming around blacks, but other blacks are running away from blacks.
Right. So that's what makes it very easy for other groups to come around. Typically, I'm just going to use a catch-all phrase, third world groups, right? If you're from Africa, Asia, wherever the other, South America, you come and shit, you're not afraid of these blacks. Shit, you come in with numbers anyway. You be at the bus stop with your brothers and sisters and shit. You're not afraid of the blacks. And so that's what I see when I go out in the morning. I see a bunch of immigrants at the bus stops. They're not afraid of the blacks. Trust me. And so if they're not afraid, then they're willing to go into the communities. Hell, many of them are forced to because of the economics. And so as they get in there, they will dominate the cowardly, the weak blacks. Trust me. They've already dominated the businesses. It's just a matter of the people coming to live there now. So that's the way I see it.
Huh. Well, maybe eventually the blacks would, start moving to Africa. What do you think?
Not with the power outages and shit. The white man made a very comfortable world for blacks.
This is true.
Which is created somewhat of a catch-22 in the sense that, it's the benefit, it's a gift and a curse. You know what I mean? It's hard to live here if you don't have the intelligence, the wits. But if you do have it, it makes for a very good living.
I think, maybe Liberia would be good place. Liberia.
Ghana might not be so bad. It's a little bit more peaceful there.
Man, any FBAs in the chat to call in and come and have the conversation?
They feel right at home in Ghana, man, and shit. I go to Ghana and they be confusing me. They be thinking I'm Ghanaian. You get the Ghanaian price if you go back. You can at least get the Ghanaian prices.
But see, John, why are the blacks online here coming flexing, acting like they are native Indian?
Man, that's a good one. I've been hearing that shit all my life, and then I started reading that the Indians didn't really care for the blacks. That's a good one, man. I'm not sure why they, but again, I mean, you got to go somewhere if you're not happy with who you are. So you go to the Indians, and the Indians can't really, you know what? When the blacks try to go get on their reservations, they don't get accepted, which must be a wake-up call for them. When they go try to get those Indian benefits, the Indians do not accept them there.
I mean, this is wild. 1 minute they're native, another minute they are now refusing to be African. What is that all about?
Well, I mean, I don't think they ever wanted to be African. I think they're mostly just oriented around white people. So whatever's anti-white, but then you could bring a lot of black people here. They're like, wait a minute, I ain't African now. I'm anti-white, but I ain't African. That's kind of what, that's kind of what happened.
I mean, it's like the crazy, like I've been telling people that, like, if most blacks, it's like an insult if you say to them, you look African. They'll be like, man, I ain't no damn African. John, am I lying?
Yeah, no, we used to joke about them growing up,
Yeah, but
there's something up here.
Yeah, but it's like 1 minute they say they mock Africans, but when they see white people, they want to act pro-African, which is funny. It's like they are grifting, trying to, get, crumbs from white people. Would you say that's what it is? Like shaming them?
Yeah, part of it is, I mean, like, I imagine that the average black person doesn't want to be associated with an African. They look down on the African. But they, you know, they kind of conflicted about being American, you know. So when around Africans, they're not African.
He's right. Look, I've seen it. Like, if you want them to be so mad, like African explaining things that is true, oh my God, they start, you know, going off. Oh, what about your GDP? I'm like, what's that have to do with what we're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah. But the GDP that they are citing, that's the white man's GDP. Let's just be real.
Yeah, that is.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I see like blacks that, you know, and it's almost like comical, man, to be quite honest with you. You'll see some black online talking about he got this, he got that. And I'm like, bro, like, do you know how much money white people have? Like, you know, and there was a white guy on my stream, man, and you guys loaded, bro. And I don't think the blacks can even, you know, conceptualize.
Well, I don't think they have any idea.
Yeah. And so they're talking about how, you know, they're making six figures, which isn't even a lot of money. And hell, it definitely ain't a lot of money where a lot of blacks live in the inner cities. And then when you factor in that they have to try to live around whites to be comfortable, that they're just mainly keeping their head above water. They can't live like the immigrants. The immigrants can go live around white people, but they'd be six of them in an apartment. Right? The blacks aren't capable. I mean, you know, along the whole spectrum, bro. You know, as a landlord, you know, I just don't see. You know, I don't think the blacks are smart enough to work their way out of it. And then I don't think they can cooperate to the point where they can at least compete. Again, look at the trash example I gave you earlier. And so, you know, I seen the immigrants driving Uber as an example.
Right.
They're not straight line just driving Uber, come home, go to sleep. When they come home, they pass the keys off, somebody else go drive. So their car becomes like an asset as opposed to a liability.
Liability, right.
Right. You know what I'm saying? The black, he come home, the car not moving for 6 hours, 8 hours while you watching TV and going to sleep. So the economics are a lot different for the immigrant groups. You know, even some like sharing a car. So it makes it very difficult for the blacks to compete.
Exactly. It's like the people that come, majority are like family oriented, family groups. And with the black, it's separate, it's individual.
Yeah, very individual, yeah.
Yeah.
And that would work if they were smart. You know what I'm saying? If they were smart. Like the white man, he can be individual, you know, and then he can team up, you know, when he needs to. But I'm not sure if the average black, well, you're not just gonna need the average black, you're gonna need a preponderance of them or a majority of them to, you know, kind of have a collective intelligence to work together, to solve basic shit. Like, can y'all take the trash out? They can't take the trash out, man. Like, you're not gonna solve bigger problems out in the world if you can't even solve living amongst trash inside your house. The government is solved taking it away from your house. All you gotta do is get it outside. They can't even figure that shit out. But it kind of shows you, you know, they ball they behind.
And did you see the you know, the beautiful white woman who was deleted by one of these blacks?
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
What do you think about that?
Man, you know, the one thing about for the blacks, I will say this, is that they are very desirous to, you know, paint it as that one black man, and I think they can't abstract and see the bigger picture is that, like, he's just a normal black. Like, how do you know the difference between him and the next dreadlock man? Like, it has to be in your mindset. I've had blacks say to me, man, like, I ain't letting no crazy ass black sit behind me. I don't know if I want one sitting behind me either. So blacks, you know, the risk spectrum is shifted a little bit for blacks. I think there was another killing down in Alabama, you know, the where, you know, you have young blacks just killing people, women in particular, which typically should be off limits. It makes their risk profile a little bit higher. And, you know, as a group of people, you don't want that because you're not going to be judged individually. That's just my
Right.
thing.
Yeah, that's true. And you know, like you have people who supposed to have common sense, but they come and support, you know, even the people that are committing, you know, this type of things.
Yeah, they do want to make a lot of, you know, I ain't gonna say make a lot of excuses for it, but kind of sidestep, you know, why it's happening. Oh, he got mental health issues. But if that's the case, and there's a lot of blacks with mental health issues, then you guys are gonna have to solve that problem, right? Like, you can't keep sending you out here in the world where you stabbing people because you have a mental health problem. So again, the excuse becomes an even bigger problem. You know, do a bunch of blacks have mental health issues? If so, we might need to do something about it if they're going to start stabbing people. So, you know, where do you go if you're black? You have to say it's an isolated incident.
Oh man, Paul, it looks like Paul, are you triggered by John? Paul said, "You mean like how that cigarette about to unalive you?" Oh man, John, you triggered Paul.
I don't smoke cigarettes, Paul.
He got triggered by you laying out the truth. So when you're renting out to your tenants, do you like what kind of vetting process do you use?
Man, you can't really vet blacks.
What do you mean?
Because they all got bad credit, they all fucked up. So you just have to make them pay on a more regular basis. You know, if I tried to credit check, hell, I wouldn't be able to rent to anybody. So, you know, but some of them are still, you know, halfway decent people. So you just
like you don't do criminal background checks?
Nah, man, the government hides that shit from you nowadays anyway to protect the blacks. You know, they'll hide their criminal records and seal them and shit like that where they don't show up on a rental background. They got all kind of rules anyway to hide the behavior, the character of the black. So you have to figure out.
I mean, you would agree then this doesn't match what the blacks say to say the government is against them. The government protects blacks. Would you say that?
Yeah. I mean, most of the rules are like, you know, particularly around housing, are almost exclusively to protect the blacks. Almost exclusively. You know,
I mean, I know in a way, like this might sound crazy, but in a way, I think it's kind of fair here in America to protect the blacks when it comes to housing.
Well, I understand protecting people in general. You understand?
Yeah, no, I get it, but like, I mean, even though some are gonna come and say, "Oh no, it wouldn't be fair. This is super black," but a lot of, if they can compete, I think with the history, that should be taken into account.
You know, I think now, man, you know, like people have seen their relative history. Like, man, they're rough on the house, bro. Real rough. Real rough. You know what I'm saying? Like, just the way that, you know, as I say, blacks and whites.
Or maybe the government can build like a Blackville, you know, like, you know, create like, you know, so,
like projects.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, that you probably headed that direction in the sense that it may not be projects, but it'd be like Section 8 vouchers, which is kind of where you see a lot of the homeless people, which are typically just blacks that are going to the homeless shelters to bypass the waiting list. So in these inner cities, if you say you're homeless, and you don't have to necessarily be homeless, but if you are homeless, you move to the front of the line for housing. So that's how a lot of them will probably be getting their housing. So if they do that, then the government has to induce people. And part of the ways they induce people is by Section 8 voucher rates are very high, which causes the regular blacks to have a harder way to go because they can't compete with the Section 8 rents. So it's like a never-ending cycle here, which is very interesting. The working class blacks can't compete with the welfare blacks for housing, which is very interesting. Yeah.
Huh.
Hmm.
You mean like the baby mamas?
You know, like say, you know, if a woman has a 3-bedroom voucher,
right,
it's guaranteed, and it's going to be a little bit more than the regular person could pay or would pay. They would pay. So the regular person saying, man, I'm not going to pay that much to go live over there in the ghetto. So I'll go live in a smaller place, apartment, in a nice neighborhood and pay the same thing. So he lives in a smaller place. And the trickle down from that is, well, maybe he doesn't have as many kids, or maybe he doesn't have as many of this or that, So that's kind of how it trickles down. But large part of the government, the bad neighborhoods, it all plays into each other to force the cost of living up. Yeah. That's why the cost of living never goes down, in my opinion.
Oh man, you see, guys, hit the like. You see, you guys came for Tariq Nasheed's grifting, but you see what you're learning. This is valuable information you're learning, about the renting process for the blacks here in the inner cities. Because DC is mostly black, I'm guessing.
No, not anymore. It's probably I would imagine probably 35%, maybe 35, 40, maybe. The rest of it probably whites, Hispanics, other groups of people here. But it's mostly all in, the blacks are more or less isolated there into the corner of DC, the south corner, the southern corner.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Well, next time you gotta bring Stanley with you.
Man, I had to get rid of Stanley, man. He was just too much, man. You really acted up when you came up, and
Of course, I told you because I'm African, and how dare I recognize the truth and speak on it.
Yeah, was I had to evict like a 60-year-old man, and Stanley's 60. And I do these things on the street.
Oh, he's 60?
Yeah, he's 60.
Oh, okay.
And so I do
Angry
these things.
old man.
Angry. And here's the reason why I think, so I do these things on the stream a lot of times, when I'm evicting someone and say, hey, you gotta leave. And he was a 60-year-old man, so he's Stanley's age, in better shape. And I think it kind of hit home with him that could have been me, or that could be me. And I think he's a black that has a hard time accepting the state of the collective blacks. He sees himself as doing okay. He's not rich. But to see a black man just like him, same age and everything, he really acted out like the way that he did when you were up on the show. And so I just had to get rid of him. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I mean, like, were you shocked by how he acted when I showed up?
Not really. Because I know how the blacks are around the Africans, him in particular. But probably the extent of his behavior really kind of surprised me. Because again, we were all supposed to be teammates there. He was a teammate. And it is the black dilemma there is that he's a 60-year-old man. And if anything, he should have been a good example for the other blacks that were up there, many of them much younger than him.
He's a nut job. He can't help himself.
But the problem is, for blacks is that he ain't so crazy that he could be committed. He's just halfway intelligent enough to be dangerous in the black community. His mindset, he's smart enough to paint a rosy picture around black dysfunction and crime. He can do that. And so that makes him very, very, that makes those kind of blacks very dangerous because they keep blacks ignoring the reality of, where they are,
So, and then here comes Afrodamus, the African guy, breaking it down, saying, no, this is what it is. And he gets really triggered when he sees me.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's very interesting, black existence.
It's like, how dare you? He wouldn't even let me talk.
He can't, and that is the thing. That's when
But when you say Stanley is smart amongst the blacks, if he is smart, then amongst the blacks, then that would be some real dumb people.
Yeah.
I mean, how is that possible?
They're real dumb, but they're educated. Stanley's educated.
Yeah, educated. Educated.
But they're not very intelligent, and you know, that creates a lot of problems. If you fill your head up with book knowledge, you think you're smart, but every little micro decision, your behaviors reflect someone that's not very intelligent. You're going to end up somewhere that doesn't match your intelligence, and you're going to be wondering how the hell you ended up here. And I think that's kind of
You remember what he asked? How dare I come from that dusty place? I get to tell him, you know, about anything.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting. You know, again, like he married a white woman. Nothing against that.
I know the reason why you mention it because of how they make someone like him makes everything about race and tries to be super black.
Yeah, super pro black.
But isn't he mixed himself?
I mean, you know, most blacks probably have some kind of admixture in there. But it is both of his parents identified as black. I would not.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people identify as black.
I mean, well, you know, there you go. None of his parents. I don't think either one of his parents was white. So how about that?
Oh, okay, like generational mixture.
Right, you know, like I'm mixed, right? Like,
right.
I'm sure that somewhere there's some white person and some white DNA somewhere. My grandmother was very like, you know.
Exactly.
Yeah, so but I think that bothers him, you know.
Why?
Because, well, you know, not the racing, mixing. I think you know, he did have a white wife. You know what I mean? And he's a Southern man to bring a white woman home. You know, you're breaking a lot of taboos. You know what I mean? Like a lot of taboos. I think his parents would say
that's better. Why is he mad at? So when I say I like white people, why does he get mad at that?
Well, I think those people may have rejected him when he got with the wife. So that would, you know, that may be where the anger come from. I can't say for sure, but I think that may be part of it. You know, it's always going to be something like that. And, you know, when you're mixing races like that. So, you know.
So now he's mad at all the white people.
Well, you know, I think, you know, it's like, he's conflicted, clearly. You know, he definitely doesn't like Be Brave. But that's a poor white man. But I think he will kind of bow down to a rich white man. You know, he knows his place in that sense, which is very interesting about these blacks. You know, I've seen him around on the panels with certain white people, and he behaves himself. He talks to them civilly. So, and that's kind of how blacks are. You know, it's very interesting. Yeah? It's very interesting.
Yeah, I forgot all about Be Brave. Yeah, the blacks don't love Be Brave.
Man, you know what? I'm gonna tell you a funny story about Be Brave. You ever watch like professional wrestling?
Yeah.
You know, in wrestling they have like heels and shit like that.
Right.
Those are characters, right? They're made up characters to get the audience to respond a certain way. It's a character. It's a written script. But a lot of blacks have this image of Be Brave based upon what he's told them. But in some ways, he's playing like a heel. And I'm not going to say too much, not to destroy his character. He's role playing.
Well, no, it's not going to, because the blacks are they will be way too triggered to be able to see that. I mean, all it takes is he just mentioned, you know, black criminality, and then that's the end of it.
Well, the reason why it's the end of it is because he's, in their mind, he's poor white trash, and so they're like,
so he shouldn't be able to talk.
Well, they can say, yeah, I make more money than you, poor white trash cracker. Blacks measure everything off of money.
Right. Because, that's what I'm saying. Everything is external. You see?
No. On the flip side, what if Be Brave was rich? What would the blacks say?
They will call him a racist.
Well, they call him that anyway. So you already got that. That's a given. But they would excuse away what he's saying by saying, you were born with a silver spoon in your mouth.
Right.
So he said, well, if I know that the blacks are going to disregard me if I say I'm rich, then how can they disregard me if I say I'm poor white trash? And I'm talking down to you blacks. That makes a different character, right? You understand?
Right. Okay, I
The
see.
blacks, like, should be smart enough to put two and two together. Does he talk like poor white trash? No. Does he look like poor white trash? No. But the hatred is so strong, they overlook all these things. And they run with the narrative of, who are you, poor white trash man? I make more money than you. That's all they hang their hat on. Because they're very empty people.
Yeah.
So he's able to run a hole through that. They don't even know they're playing with a character. This is very interesting.
Yeah, I mean, I see it. I see it all the time, you know, because it's like, this is why when, especially like an African mentions something that is factual, the first go-to is, oh, you fled. You're from a poor country, but all right, but what's that have to do with what I just said? You see? So so the same, it's like the blacks want to practice like classism, but they don't have any power to enforce it.
Yeah. And at the bottom anyway, like, you know, you got to embrace something else if you're at the bottom, you know. You take away, man, you take away all these government jobs, bro, the blacks would be poor as hell. They'd be poor as hell. But yet they hang their hat on that like it's some sort of accomplishment. Whereas, you know, the composition of white wealth is not so tied up with the government. And, I don't think they see that. Yeah.
Yeah, that's wow. But John, thanks for coming, man.
Yeah,
I'm about
get it.
to close it. You know, like it's a great conversation. Even though we were talking about Carmelo Anthony, not acknowledging the FBAs, and now they're upset. So those of the ones that are coming to, you know, watch this, John, be ready for the comments, because they're going to be throwing dust our way, just so you know.
Man, you had to come on. We got to have some discussions. I got a couple of things I would love to run past you whenever you come by. Yeah.
I will. I will. Thanks for coming.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you, John.
Yeah, thank you, man.
All right, guys, that was John. Go and subscribe to his channel. Great conversation. I mean, I enjoyed it. Did you enjoy it? If you did, please hit the like. And you know, these are the type of conversations we enjoy having. You know, which is, you know, you learn a whole lot of stuff. I like bringing things that are educational. It's not about, you know, trying to, you know, put the blacks down, but it's about bringing things that are factual, that makes absolute sense. Because think about it, like every time, like if white people speak the truth, they are racist. You know, if Africans do it, they're just, you know, booty scratches, you know, they are fleeing. Okay, fine, I'm fleeing, but can you address what I just said? So it's all about deflection. So please leave your comments in the comment section, and the people that are coming to watch later, what do you think about FBAs crying about Carmelo Anthony acknowledging his own lineage? You know, I want to hear, you know, your point of view. So comment when you watch later. And so I have another video that I want to review in the next show. So it's about culture, because, you know, one of the biggest conversation, I mean, I would say, like, blacks claim what upset them is when people question if they have a culture. So they saw Zanu's video, and boy, oh boy, they are going off. They are very upset. How dare this African booty scratcher that fled his country? Who are you to come here and tell us you don't have a culture? But the man is open to debating anybody. He's open to it. They wouldn't go debate him, but they would just say, "Oh man, you disrespecting us." You know, they are acting like Clayton Bixby. They don't, you know, it's like they are not standing on the truth. And the moment someone tries to expose it, they try to form like a kumbaya between you and them. Isn't that how it is with the Pan-African thing? So when you talk about the blacks not having culture, they start saying, "Oh man, you guys are colonized." Colonization and slavery are two different things. You have to remember that slavery here in America, you know, is like private plantation owners, you know, owned their own slaves. And these slaves are from different parts of Africa. So clearly it makes sense, like when, let's say, John Smith from the Smith plantation shows up to the auction block. I mean, it's a private individual, a plantation owner, comes up, you know, maybe, you know, they brought some African, who knows what their name is, you know, maybe their name was Kingola, or, you know, one of those names. So when Mr. Smith comes, he buys that slave at the auction. What do you think he's doing? The next thing, he's changing that slave's name to his own name, from Kunta to Toby. You guys saw the movie. But you see, when you explain things as they are, they're like, "Oh man, you're being disrespectful." No, this is what actually happened. It's not being made up. This is what happened. So colonization is like, it's just, yeah, the white people took official running of the territories that they claim, but they didn't own the people. So that's the difference. Let me bring in Bang. Bang, welcome to the Afridamus Report. Unmute yourself, Bang. Bang, are you there?
Yeah, man. Afrodamus, man, how you doing?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Oh, wonderful, man. Wonderful, man. I like how you got this topic, man.
Oh, you like that? Bang, what do you
like
think about FBA? FBA, you know, they said delineation, but Carmelo Anthony claims his own lineage as Puerto Rican. Why is the FBA crying? Is it beginning to look like they're the real tethers, trying to get people not to claim their own real lineage so they can
100%,
take
100%, man. How you gonna force somebody to claim your lineage, man? And then it's basically a trap, because if he claims to be FBA, and then they're gonna use that and say, "Oh, look how better we are. He didn't even claim Puerto Rican. Look how better we are. These people are tethers, man. Everybody want to be like us. Everybody want to be like us, man."
Exactly.
And then when he claimed the opposite, they still get mad, and then their leader come out and make probably like 1 hour of a video just talking nonsense.
Exactly.
Just talking nonsense, man.
Yeah, and you know, it's like, you know, it completely contradicts what they always claim. They say everyone wants to be like them, you know, but here they are trying to claim somebody who is not of their lineage. Do you think FBA, the way things, you know, most of the people they claim as heroes, most of them, if we dig deep, they would turn out not to be FBA? Do you think, you know, they know this and they're afraid of it?
Oh yeah, of course.
That's already happening.
That's CJ. Welcome.
What's the deal?
CJ, FBA. What do you think about FBA being upset about Carmelo Anthony? You know, talking about how much he loved his Puerto Rican heritage.
I mean, I'll look at it like this. Carmelo Anthony played with his other United States basketball team teammates, and they knew he was Puerto Rican. They didn't have a problem.
Right.
So LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, all of those people that were in the crowd, that were basketball players that also received their own rewards, they
Right.
have no problem with it because they understand that there's a when you come to America as from a different background, you do assimilate into a collective Black identity.
Right.
And most Africans and Caribbeans that come here, especially if they come here young or they are born here, they have no problem with being part of a collective Black identity.
Right.
So whenever someone has someone from a different background, like I grew up with friends that were from the Bahamas, I had no problem with them. Even the Black American friends, we were all part of the same friend group. They had no problem with him being proud for being from the Bahamas or from Jamaica or from Ghana or from Uganda. You get what I'm saying? So you can still celebrate your own individuality and still be considered part of the Black collective identity. Here's part of the problem with Tariq. And I think just like you said, even Bang, shout out to Bang as well. Just like you said, Afrodamus, you hit the nail on the head. And I don't think you even know what you just said. If they dig into the people that they claim are FBA,
right,
that they claim as icons, half of them are not even that. I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna give you two examples. One is Aaliyah. Aaliyah's father is Jamaican. The late singer Aaliyah. Well, they were promoting her as FBA for a long time, but they didn't know this. That her dad was Jamaican. And Aaliyah was more popular than the reason why Beyonce became popular was in part because of Aaliyah's death.
Right.
Aaliyah's death opened up an opportunity for Beyonce to be viewed as
Beyonce is not even she's not even trying to be the FBA. Beyonce now is shooting for white. Look at Beyonce forcing herself into country music. She's bleaching her skin to get more lighter, even though she's light, but she is going for white. Have you seen Beyonce lately?
Yeah.
She's doing the blonde thing.
Beyonce's performing tonight in Houston. I'm in Houston right now.
Oh, there you go.
She's performing no, that's Chris Brown, but she performed in Houston.
Yeah.
A few months ago for her little concert, her Cowboy Carter concert. I grew up with Beyonce. Now I've been around before she was famous. I was around her 2 separate times. Because my mother went to the same hairstylist as her mother. Me and Beyonce.
Even Beyonce's dad, even, I watched his interview. He was also, he even claimed his Jamaican heritage. Apparently he's
from the Bahamas.
Bahamas, something like that.
Yeah.
So you see, so Beyonce
doesn't know this though. Tariq doesn't know that Beyonce is from the Bahamas.
No, he mentioned it. He's mad at that. He said, you see, they get, when they win, they start, claiming foreign heritage.
But Beyonce's never openly done that because the thing about it is, a lot of people that are born and raised in the U.S., they assimilate into Black collective identity. This is the reason why back in the 90s, when Biggie was rapping, or Chuck D, no one cared that they were Jamaican. No one cared that Chuck D from Public Enemy was Jamaican. But no one cared that Slick Rick was Jamaican.
Mm-hmm.
It became a problem.
You got Wyclef Jean.
No one cared that he said he was Haitian.
Right.
We were all
even the popular movie star Sidney Poitier.
Harry Belafonte.
Exactly.
Yeah, there was no care. See, what's happened is, and I think you said it before, and I said it in your last stream that I was on. The myth of the magical Negro has been destroyed with social media because, like you said, and I've said it before, this is a psychology. They believe that they were the favored Black pet of white people because of the American exceptionalism, American mass media being a superpower, being able to project their influence, which is part of the reason why they did that was because of the Soviet Union's influence after World War II.
Right.
Because they wanted to offset that. So they utilized any type of talent, even including Black talent, to say, look at what we do here in America. And they pushed that out to the world. And a lot of Black people took a lot of
That's
pride
what
in
I was saying. It's scripted. And then now, like you said, the internet destroyed that script.
Yeah. Social media destroyed it because for a long time, it was acceptable. Here and there, you have a Caribbean artist, a Haitian artist. They do well. People, people are happy, clap for them, and then they move on. But I think with social media, I don't think they were expecting anything to come out of Africa except for Hakeem Olajuwon. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
So when
Mutombo.
Yeah, and Mutombo. And they can make fun of Mutombo and how he talks and everything like that. Oh, he got dunked on by Jordan.
Oh yeah, I remember that, man. Black Americans used to make fun of that guy 24/7.
Right.
If you was an African, you went to the basketball court and try to play basketball, they call you Mutombo. These are the same people that talk about, oh, Africans always talk about them. Africans this and that. Africa can't get the, these are the same people since the early 2000s. FBA has been talking about Africans in a very disrespectful way. You go back to the 90s as well. These are the same people get on social media and talk about, oh, the Africans started. They started this, not us. We've been fighting these people. Africans came here, they start kissing the white tea man behind, blah 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 and stuff like that. These are the same people that if you were African, right? You go down to the basketball court, try to play basketball. They call you Mutombo. You go down to the gym doing PT times. They call you African. They call you Mutombo.
Hey, listen, you ain't lying, because when I was in high school, when we were going to PE,
let me end this.
They would call me. We had two Nigerian guys at my gym class, and one of the Black American brothers was going to say, "You're African number 1 and you African number 2." And mind you, I look like Will Smith, but to him just knowing that I'm Nigerian, and it was enough for him to be like, separate me and be like, "You African number 1, he African number 2."
CJ. These are the same people now. 25 years later on social media talking all type of crap. Oh, these Africans are being disrespectful. These Africans, think about it though. If you're in high school, right, or college in the early 2000s, right, these are the same people now, about 25 years later, telling you, oh, you being disrespectful. You talk about us. You this and that. You this and that. These are the same mother effers. These are the same mother effers now we dealing with. These are the same mother effers coming to social media. Africans constantly talking about us. We don't say nothing about them. We don't say that. We peaceful. Africans are the ones,
the blacks, they get obsessed with people. Like if they get obsessed with whites, if it's not whites, they're super obsessed with Africans. I've noticed that.
Well, I think it's because Africans are easy to target, because for one,
they think so.
No.
These people, these FBAs, they need to stay away from Africa. I don't care what nobody says. I would say this, right? FBAs were not the original. The original FBAs, you know who they are? The American Liberians that took over Liberia. Afrodamas, do your homework. Am I right or am I wrong?
Right.
The original FBAs.
Yeah, you mean the ones that they went and enslaved the people there too.
Thank you. The original FBAs were the American Liberians that took over Liberia and had power over that country for over 150 years. Yeah. That's if you really think about FBA, right? They hate calling themselves Africans. They remove the word Africans. American Liberians do not call themselves Africans.
Right.
They call themselves American Liberians. How you gonna be an African taken away to America? You come back, but you don't want to call yourself an African. You call yourself American Liberians. American Liberians. Think about it. And then isn't that similar compared to FBAs?
Right.
What do FBAs always, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Like tell themselves to white people.
Well, right. That's why Tariq
doesn't. It was the white Americans that handed the country to Liberia, right or wrong? When they had the independence, right? After 25 years.
Yeah, Tariq doesn't want to claim them as FBA now because of the ugly history that America.
Yeah, you guys keep talking. I'll be right back.
You need to do a show about that. The original FBAs were American Liberians.
I will. I'll be right back. Keep talking.
Yeah, CJ, go ahead, CJ.
No, you're good. You're good. Yeah, I mean, I look at it from the, me being born and raised here, the way my parents raised me, I have no, what do you call it? Bigotry. I was never taught bigotry against Black Americans in my household at all.
Let me play this. You hear Tariq continue now. I'll come back real quick.
Yeah, see, that's why the dominant society and some immigrants, they want to pound down on foundational Black American identity into some kind of vague label like Black or minority or something like that. And They want the legacy of resistance and innovation, and they want that sacrifice to be diluted. So naming ourselves, that's a direct act of resistance to that historical silencing that they're continuing to try to do now. Yeah. And yes, our lineage makes the oppressor class uncomfortable because our lineage is righteous. The reason why our lineage stirs up discomfort, that's because it's attached to unsettled justice. See, the dominant society knows that foundational Black Americans are owed all that shit you did to us, and we're still standing, surviving. You know you owe. And when we say who we are, it's not just cultural, it's political. And that's why it makes people uneasy. See, the truth shouldn't be silenced just because it shakes up the room. And no other group is asked to hide their damn heritage. Jamaicans can proudly claim Jamaica. Nigerians can proudly claim Nigeria. Latinos can proudly wave their flags loudly at every sports event and award ceremony. But when foundational Black Americans are told to just be American or to hide our unique cultural roots, no. That's that double standard that exists because our lineage is so damn powerful. And it's
here we go. Their lineage is so powerful. What do you guys make of this, Bang?
Man, Africans are only like 1 to 2% in this country.
I know.
These people are like what, 14 and 15%.
Yeah.
In Africa, if your ethnic groups are like 1 or 2%, people don't really like. It's like a fly. You just push it. But these people, it's like it makes no sense. What power Africa has in what state? Instead of them actually come together and then run for Congress or something like that, or senator, they don't want to do it. Instead of they stick their ass on social media and constantly talk about the people that's like 2%, less than 2% every day, less than 2%. You talk about these people every day. The banks are white. All these major banks, the 5 major banks in this country, which are what? Private owned, are all completely white.
But Ben, he said people have to claim foreign Black lineage because that's what white people accept over FBA because they are because FBA, they are militants according to him.
He listen, Tariq says that because Tariq is Tariq is insecure about his position, his false position. See, what he created with the FBA movement, he didn't really make a strong claim of what an FBA is. So in real time, in just a couple of days, he had to go from defending Aaliyah's background with her having a Jamaican father and a so-called Black American or FBA mother, as he would say. And then the next 2 days later, here is Carmelo Anthony with a Puerto Rican father and a so-called FBA mother, and he is now in a quagmire.
Well, remember what's his name? Nipsey Hussle. His dad is Eritrean. The mom is FBA, but Tariq put claim on him.
These are the same athlete because Melo is an athlete, a former athlete, a basketball athlete, right?
Yeah.
When you look at their athletes nowadays, basketball, NFL and stuff like that, their women that they married are white. They not really looking out for these FBAs females. Seriously though, just look at the NBA.
Listen. Here it is. This is the truth.
I mean, look at the NBA.
This is the truth.
If it's not white, CJ, if it's not white, it's Dominican.
Bro, Rang is right. Let me tell you something. Even Tariq, if you go to his Instagram, he follows a whole bunch of African and Caribbean models. And just like you said,
even in the NFL, like there's a lot of like Nigerian last names there.
Yeah,
in the NFL. Yeah. So, so Tariq soon he would soon run out of FBA stars because this is funny. So he was complaining, he was trying to fix the Aaliyah thing, and then here comes Carmelo Anthony.
Yeah, because that's why. Think about it. Listen to how he's not attacking. He's not really trying to attack Carmelo Anthony too hard because he understands he just had to defend Aaliyah. So he's soft-shoeing If this had happened like 2 months ago, he would have been calling him all kind of failed from the banana boat type, all kind of stuff. You know, he didn't even want to lean into the Goya powder stuff the way he would have. You know what I'm saying? Because he understood that he has to be sensitive now that Aaliyah got exposed, because Aaliyah's a darling in Black America.
This is
so
funny.
You can't really openly attack Aaliyah, and then you have to claim her because you're gonna have to be soft with it. So the thing about it is, just like you said, Afrodamus, if you dig deep into a lot of Black celebrities, a lot of them are the ones that even they propping up, they're not even completely so-called FBA. Right. Beyonce's father is Bahamian. The name Knowles is only found in the Western world among people from the Bahamas. Okay. Beyonce's dad is Bahamian. Beyonce's mom, remember Afrodamus, I don't know if you ever seen the video, Tariq years back attacked people from Louisiana saying they're not really Black Americans and that they're really Haitians, and that they're really a Caribbean satellite. That's out of his own mouth.
Right.
So with now that, you know what that means? That means that her mother is also attacked, because her mother's from Louisiana and her mother's Creole, which he said in that podcast that he did years back, that Creoles are not really Black American and they're nothing more than the descendants of the white men who owned plantations in Haiti and moved to Louisiana after the Haitian Revolution. That's what he said. So he just destroyed his biggest mascot in Beyonce, and he doesn't even know it yet. So Beyonce herself is technically a tether. She's cosplaying. She's a cosplaying tether.
Zongo said, Afrodamus, Tariq says the criteria to be FBA is bloodline and land. If FBA parents go to Ghana to be U.S. ambassador and had their kids in Ghana, the kids are not FBA according to Tariq's logic. No, if they're there as a U.S. attaché, they would be straight American. It's like being born in America, just in the embassies is U.S. jurisdiction. But Zongo, you probably just come in late. So Carmelo Anthony's father is Puerto Rican. So he claimed his Puerto Rican lineage, but Tariq is upset. He is trying to make it seem like, oh yeah, people pretend to be Black till they, get what they want. Then they don't want to claim the Blacks. He said people associate with Blacks and then keep them in the closet. CJ, is that what you do? Do you keep your Black friends in the closet? You don't want people to know?
No. I mean,
Tariq said people, he said, you see what they do? They would associate with Blacks in private, but in public, what's wrong with Tariq?
I mean, I got it.
Where does he come up with this?
Yeah, I mean, he's taught. You gotta remember, Tariq grew up in Alabama,
right?
So when you're coming from Alabama, you're not around a lot of foreign Black people.
He's a country boy, yeah.
He's a real country boy.
He's from the same
states like that. You're a country boy for sure.
He's from the same city as Charles Barkley. They both grew up in Leeds, Alabama.
He's a country boy that never attacked the white tea people. I don't get that. I don't get that. If you're from the South and then you constantly worry about Africans with the history of the South, oh my God, something wrong, man. Something ain't right, man. If you're from the South, man, and then you constantly worry about Africans.
Because see, Tariq's target is the South because they're not around foreign Blacks. They don't know much. So it's like they already, most of them, they think other new people are coming to take their butter biscuit from white zaddy. Because look at, that's what Tariq is presenting. Oh, these tethers are trying to be in the proximity of white people.
They have
so they can get benefits.
They call it in white supremacy circles, they call it the replacement theory.
Yeah, I know.
So what Tariq is doing is, because I studied sociology in undergrad, and you know, I'm interested in also political science and history and things like that, and also studied business for grad school, MBA. So what I know, me knowing exactly how separatist movements works, social revolution movements work, they all use the same trope, right? It's a us versus them. So what you do is you present a threat and you say these people here are a threat to our existence because they're taking away opportunities from us. And they may also, and especially if you're a group, right, that is if there's a hierarchy in a society where you have one group that dominates, what happens is the other groups vie for second place because they know that the first place is too powerful. Like if you go to like places like Nigeria, the Fulani are the most powerful, right? So people will then try and vie to be at least second place. So when you vie for second place, you have to put anybody else down that could be a threat to being second place in your mind. So what Tariq is doing is he's trying to promote this replacement theory to people who largely are from places where there's not really a lot of foreign Black people. The South, and that is majority of Black Americans live in the South.
Right.
Yes, there's some in Detroit, but even when you look at cities like Detroit, Chicago, St. Louis, Indianapolis, those are more Black American havens as far as their population. Same thing with Milwaukee. But when you start going to places like Houston, you start going to Dallas, you start going to DC, you know, Maryland, right outside of DC, you start going to New York, Jersey, that's where you're going to see more foreign Black. Same thing with South Florida. Same thing with South Florida, Broward County, Dade County.
And in the West Coast.
In the West Coast, yeah, certain parts of the West Coast. You know, not Bay Area, but maybe places like LA, you'll get like people from Belize and things like that. But Tariq can play on that ignorance because think about it. If you grew up from a toddler with Black people that are from the Caribbean or Africa, you felt you had a camaraderie and a strong bond with these people, and you dated or even married these people, right? So Tariq can't get through to those people because those people say, you're saying that Haitians is like this and that, but my friend who was Haitian used to share lunch with me when I didn't have money, or yada yada, you know, or his family took me in, or their people is like family to me. So you can't run that play on people that grew up in those type of environments. You can only run that play on people that never grew up with anybody that was a foreign Black.
Exactly. Oh, hold on. Spearman said Al Sharpton is Gambian. Now, Spearman, Al Sharpton is Ghanaian. I think Al Sharpton is Ghanaian.
Oh man.
Al Sharpton is definitely not Gambian. Well, he gotta give us Al Sharpton.
Oh man, these people are crazy, man. When you hear these people speak, man.
Oh yeah, Bang, you sent me the TikTok link. I was listening to some of the things they complain about. Apparently, they said they are not being, due to foreign Blacks, they are not getting hired at jobs because people are, driving the price down. I was like, so that means you are admitting you don't have your own establishment, your businesses. So you are complaining about company owners choosing who they want, just like they're doing with Hollywood. They are mad at Cynthia Erivo.
Oh my God!
But Cynthia Erivo is hired by a company. They don't own the company.
Thank you. And then also, besides even that,
and even look at NBA, the Blacks are getting replaced. They are getting replaced in NBA, just like they replaced the whites.
They don't own what do you call it? The copyright to the artist as well, Aretha Franklin.
Right.
They could have purchased that, but they didn't. So now when they're making a movie about that lady, they want to come out and say, oh, this and that. And then they don't even own the producer as well. Because who producing the movie as well is the one going to have a lot of hands.
Because the white people own it.
Here's the thing, Bang.
How can you argue with people like this, man?
Bang. Here's the thing.
How can you argue with people like this?
To to act as somebody else, right? Especially somebody like Shaka Khan, you need a method actor. You need somebody that's trained in the art of acting.
Yeah, but it's just a movie. It's not like Cynthia Erivo. She's playing a character. She's not saying I am now, Shaka Khan or whatever. It's just a movie, like just a character. That's it.
Here's the thing. Who would be this is the thing with FBA. If the people in the FBA movement, because I don't consider FBA the same as a Black American, I consider FBA an actual organization or a cult group.
Oh yeah.
So I don't. That's why I'm telling you, I don't like when I say FBA. Exactly. I'm not talking about Black Americans.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm talking about an actual cult group. Now
that's why I said I don't want them in Africa. I really don't want them in Africa.
Yeah.
So Bang, this is what you want.
Detrimental to an instrumental since your mom's had the first menstrual. Check my credentials penciled in with the pen gem right, and we some titans fighting men when the time ripens for the hyper check.
That's right. 100%. That's the African rap. FBA got they got a real competition in their hand, because even the rap that they always claim that they are the best at it, right? Mm-hmm. I can prove to them that no, the Africans got the rap game hands down in a respectful way. Here, let me show you. This is in Mali. Guy rapping in their language to show. And they're gonna say you copying us, but let's listen. Here we go. Did you see that? FBA, did you guys see this?
100%.
See, this is the rap. Did you hear him rap about people deleting one another or shootings happening? This is what real rap is. Mm-hmm. Did you guys see that? The dignitaries are there. He is telling a story here, a history.
I heard him say Chiani.
Yes. He is praising the AES leaders.
Yeah. You see, I figured it out because I heard Chiani.
You know what? People in the chat are requesting this rap again. They've never heard anything like it. Here,
what's the language?
There you go. The best rap music. Okay. See, what people don't, this wouldn't be fair if I don't follow it by FBA music. Sorry.
I can do some shuffling too. Look out, man, what you gonna do? Look out, boys, it's coming through. Yeah, man, Boy, he got educated feet.
All right, thank you.
Yeah, he was that's a very he's very talented. I mean,
how you like that talent?
No, talent's serious, man. I mean, I'll put it like this. When you go back into hip hop and rap, okay? Myself, I'll agree that the elements of hip hop came from Black Americans from South Carolina. I'm a historian. I'm gonna give him that. But when you look
Look,
at like
man, they can't rap like this. Did you hear this? El Wara, did you not hear this?
but I heard it, but the elevation of
No,
modern,
no, this guy is not talking about deleting people. This is, using the rap to, use the African praise singing. You see, he's telling a history here. So, it's different.
Yeah, that's the way you're supposed
Yeah,
to
the blacks can come back and say El Wara was copied from them. They can rap like this. We all saw it.
There's something in the Bible that says that which has been is that which shall be done. There's no new thing under the sun.
Exactly.
Back in the ancient world, there was people that were doing the same type of thing. It would have been called rap today. So that's what some people don't understand when it comes to musical arts, especially. And when you're talking about rap in terms of skill level, if you're really a rap historian, you're gonna say that the person who took rap to the next level from a skilled perspective was the Notorious B.I.G.
Oh yeah,
Notorious B.I.G.
exactly.
Was the one who took rap from the level of what it was in the late 80s. Like the Rakim was good, right? But Rakim,
CJ, you're starting a problem here. Didn't you see? You're pissing off Tariq.
Yo, Biggie, listen. Biggie was the guy who made people say, made people question if they could really rap. When Biggie started rapping, people were like, damn, I don't even know if I could really rap, because you saw another guy who had every skill set, in the rap game out the gate. No writing it with a pen. So now Drake said that the best rappers come from the UK, and Tariq was pissed. But see, here's the thing with the FBA cult members. The FBA cult members are willfully ignorant. They have not looked into what rappers was Drake talking about for Drake to say that the rappers that they have in the UK are better right now than the rappers that are in the USA. They haven't done that, because if they did, they would look up a rapper named Dave. Dave was born and raised in the UK. Dave is from Nigerian parents. I believe he's from Benin people. And he was on his way to law school. He was in law school when he decided, you know what? I'm going to just rap. And he became the best. He's considered the greatest rapper in the history of UK hip hop. Now, Tariq is not going to go listen to him, because he's not going to tell his followers to go listen to Dave, because they might like Dave. And they don't, just like they liked Burna Boy. See, Tariq was trying to make them not like Burna Boy and Wizkid and Davido when they rose. But you know what happened? Let me tell you what happened, Afrodamus. The pretty girls like Afro beats. I'm going to say that again. The pretty girls like Afro beats. The pretty girls like the music coming out of Ghana. Carolina, the one that came out of Congo years back, they like that. They like Amapiano from South Africa. If you go to a pretty girl's Instagram page,
did you hear what Tariq
she's playing
said?
music from
the
the continent.
He said people want to praise, South African pygmies.
Listen, man, it's instead of embracing, they're hating. See, it's for a long time. I remember traveling to Nigeria. I got a story.
And did you see them, doing the fake, pretending to be Zulus?
Yeah, they have that in Louisiana. In Louisiana, they have the
and it's like, like in this Zulu parade, they're not even dressed as real Zulus.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a pride parade. In fact,
it's like a minstrel.
Look,
like 2 weeks, a couple weeks ago with the dress in Atlanta.
Oh yeah.
That was shameful, man.
But you know what? They've been doing that for years. That's a tradition of over 100 years, right? In Louisiana.
Okay. Yeah, but it's still fake Zulus here.
I know it's fake Zulus, but
you see?
Yeah, it's still fake Zulus, but remember,
that's the fake Zulus. Let me show you the real Zulus. Okay. Fake Zulu versus real Zulus. And the Zulus told them, take this down. That's not us. Do you think they listen?
No, they didn't listen. FBA.
They didn't listen.
FBA is gonna say that's our tradition.
Yeah.
So
it's like they claim they're like, man, we've been doing it for so long, but you're wrong. I mean, white people, there are some white people who've been doing blackface. That doesn't mean they are correct.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. See, those are the real Zulus.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yep.
Yeah, that's real Zulu versus fake Zulu. But yeah.
Man,
yeah.
This is
so it's like, and why people started noticing that the blacks are culturally appropriating others, because they started beefing with creating fake beefs on the internet, saying that everyone is copying them. And they also claim like how to spot an African with the hairline, but let me show you what their FBA hairline. Let me show you one of the FBAs, their hairline. Here we go. You see that? I know they're gonna come here and say it's not an FBA, but that's an
Somalian, bro. Hey, listen, Afrodamus.
Yeah.
Whenever I've run into some Black Americans that are ignorant, when they meet me and they find out they're shocked to find out that my parents is from Nigeria. So they'll argue up and down. Sometimes they'll argue with me for 2 to 3 minutes about my background. But remember, they said they look at me and they see like my parents, they see my siblings, and they'll sit there and say that we look like Black Americans, me and my family. But then at the same time, you're gonna say you're Indian. So I don't know what it is. That's why I put my picture up. I made sure to put my picture up so that way anybody that wants to say anything can have something to say. Because the thing about it is, Africa is a very diverse place.
Right.
Some of you have their information. The United States Library actually has the tribes that Black Americans come from. It's in the United States Congress. You can even access some of the information online. They have all the documents going back to the 1700s, 1800s, showing which area of West Africa that they took Black people from. So that way you can at least still get that knowledge. But since they don't want to at least dig into that information and they want to sever themselves from different groups of people that they're related to,
Ben, was this the one?
American identity completely.
Ben, was this the one you were talking about? Ben, are you there?
He's muted.
Yeah. Ben, was that the picture?
Yeah, that was in Atlanta.
Yeah. But you see, they couldn't handle that. The original cowboys, the blacks were claiming they're the cowboys. But then we come to find out, it's all the way in Kenya. Look at this. See that?
No, you have people that are into it. I mean, you have
but see, the blacks were upset that the Kenyans are in fact cowboys. There is cowboy culture there.
Correct.
So I just wanted to teach,
Yeah, I mean,
to show that the culture is diverse everywhere.
Yeah. I mean, one of the things that Tariq did early on in his Hidden Color series is he tried to take on, which is okay. To me, listen, if you're Black American, it's okay for you to highlight the achievements of what happened in Africa or the Moors, but you can't attack.
He doesn't know anything about it.
You can't delineate and at the same time appropriate what happened in Africa to yourself if you're delineating. You get what I'm saying? So,
Yeah. We have Ola in the house. Ola, welcome to the Afridamus Report.
Thank you, Afridamus.
Ola. So this is Carmelo Anthony, basketball player. He was receiving his award Hall of Famer. He gave his speech, about how much he loved being a Puerto Rican. He said being Puerto Rican is his blood. His father is Puerto Rican. And even FBA admitted, but they are upset, Ola, because they said, why is he claiming to be Puerto Rican? But he is Puerto Rican. Ola, why do you think FBA is now crying, even though they claim delineation? This man delineating from them. Why are they crying?
Because all I've ever since they are what they're saying is fake. They never really believe what they're saying. The people that are saying it, they're doing it for also. The guy just claimed where he's from, just where his dad from. He's not forcing himself to be Black American or FBA. He just said, I'm Puerto Rican. They said they don't want Tethers to be around them, Now this guy said, okay, I'm not part of you. I'm from Puerto Rican.
But Ola, he didn't even mention their name. He just said who he is, and now they are upset. Why is that?
Because they are not important. Because they are not important. Afrodamo, sometimes the Black Americans say they form hip hop. I don't know if you can go to what we call Asa acrobatic dance. You see all these hip hop moves that they're doing. These people have been doing it for thousands of years. Just for a purpose, let's just show you if you can do it. They call it ESAN, ESAN, acrobatic dance. You see everything there.
Yeah.
You see everything there. I swear to God. You see everything there. This
my God. So Ola, look at what Nat Turner wrote. Nat Turner is claiming that he is Indian. He said, my copper-colored Black natives, the early explorers described in their journeys to what is now called the United States. So Ola, you see Nat Turner, you saw Nat Turner before. He looked like Nana Akufo, right?
Look.
He's saying he's Indian.
The problem we have inside this black so-called black pot is the way the Black Americans have fooled themselves in most of the things in this YouTube space. If you understand that this
sorry about that, man. YouTube space is nothing, man. You go to TikTok, the way these FBAs talk, oh my God.
No, because
you go to TikTok and hear FBA talking.
You see, it's Scotland.
You're gonna be 10 times mad at FBA.
Yeah, they say Scotland.
Afrodamus, am I lying? Am I wrong?
The black people there, black people there.
Tell him, please. Tell him.
Yeah, I'll tell him. Let him finish. I'll tell him.
They want to claim the black Scottish.
Oh yeah, I saw that the new tribe.
Yeah, that's where you know that if people like you, they go to school in the United States, I think we'll start adapting the education system of United States. This all our cousins and everything, black Scots and everything. Well, whoa.
But Ola, you notice they are claiming everywhere except West Africa.
Then the black Scots play along with them. Later, the black Scots started telling them.
Wasn't the Scottish guy, the guy that pretended to be the tribesman? Isn't he Ghanaian?
Ghanaian person. That's a Ghanaian scam there too. You understand me?
Wasn't the chief of the Scottish forest that is telling them that isn't he Ghanaian?
Yes, the guy put some mud in his face.
Yes,
saw on that ground.
I'll have to do a show on that. I've been seeing it online, but it was too funny. I was like, wait, is this made up? But now I'm going to really.
Afrodamus, I don't know if you want to deal with people that. There's one theory, right? If you watch people that are crazy, that are madmen, right? You play along what they believe on, right? You look at the madman, you said, you're a king. The madman said, yes, I'm a king. You want to catch him, right? And chain him so that you can go and treat him, right?
Yeah.
You start praising him, right? You say, you're a king. You say, yeah, I'm a king. I'm a king. You deceive him. Then before you understand, chains started coming to his hands and leg. They take him to where they treat mad people. That what proved to what they said, Black Scottish. They forget the Africans they hate. These are second generation, and Caribbeans they hate. These are second generation of descendants of these who live in Scotland. They never indigenous of Scotland people. Later, those started telling them, keep your inferiority complex in your territory. You understand me? Keep what you believe. Even a white woman came and said, no. There's nothing like Black Scottish in Scotland. These are Africans that came here 40 years ago, 50 years ago. These are their children, blah, 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 grandchildren. They say sorted that white woman. So what I'm trying to say is, Carmelo Anthony saw them and saw who they are and run away from them. I don't blame him. He's from Puerto Rico. That's just the truth.
But Ola, they said, people, they come, they associate themselves with, FBA, but when they win big, they keep FBA in the closet. They say people don't want to associate. But Ola, doesn't that contradict what they're saying, that people, they are tired, they want to delineate from other people, but it looks like it's other people delineating.
Yes, I told you, if you start separating, they say they're 40 million strong, right? Which is lie. If you start taking the other blacks among them out,
yeah,
right, the population of Black America might fall up to about 5 million. Not so huge. The one they count among them is the Caribbeans and whatever it is, people that came from everywhere are the one they put into them as 40 million. And because they start hating people now, they're spreading hate in the internet everywhere, right? People that wanted to be okay with family, they start separating themselves now. They will use their hands to create enemies. And slowly the Africans in Africa started saying who they are. You understand me?
Before but Ola, Bang is saying they shouldn't come to Africa. Do you agree? I mean,
100%. These people, you cannot really trust them. These people flip.
FBA are, oh man, sorry.
These people flip. You can understand that one day, the Africans, we cannot easily change tribe. You are this till you die. But these people can easily flip to be anything.
Ola, do you think that's why they hate that Africans have tribes? They always say, you bring in tribalism.
Yes.
Man, that's a good point too, man. Hold on. That's a good point, man. I
never
thought about that.
That's what I said. You can't really have much to say to them. Everything about them have price. Their name have price. With the way they talk have price. Everything about them is price. In other people, not everything have price. You understand me? Your name doesn't have a price. Where you're coming from doesn't have a price. You'd live and die with that. But them have price in everything. So that's a little bit dangerous. That goes down to their relationship, to who they are, and everything. They started this, we're not this, we hate Caribbeans and everything. Now, the basketball superstar starts saying, sorry, I'm not part of you. I'm Puerto Rican. Even when the mom is a Black American woman, he said, I'm Puerto Rican. I think they should respect that, because they said, we don't want to be, we want to separate from all y'all. You understand me? That's what the guy is doing, and he's doing it good, because he have money now. They want to where you going to? You have money. Nisi, what do you call that? Nisi Hustle guy? Nisi Hustle to us as African is an Eritrea dude.
Wait,
you understand me?
Ola, you wanna hear Anthony's short speech?
Yes. Thank you.
So that you see what our Indian relatives are feeling here. Oh, give me a moment.
Puerto Rico, you gave me fire, you gave me soul, you gave me home. We are proud, we are powerful, we are present. This Hall of Fame moment belongs to the island, it belongs to us.
All right, round of applause for you. Welcome to the
It's hard to get as far. So Puerto Rico, my blood, my soul, my heart. I carry the flag in my heart. I carry the island in my veins. When I wore those colors on my chest, I wasn't just playing basketball. I was honoring the heritage. I was honoring my father. I was honoring every Puerto Rican who's ever had to fight twice as hard to get as far.
Hold on, did you hear what he said? Hold on, he didn't say anything wrong. Like the man is saying he's honoring his father.
What's wrong with that?
This guy just destroyed FBA.
They have a bunch of
He
they
just
have a bunch
destroyed
of FBAs.
Hold on, you say he destroyed them?
He destroyed them, bro.
Why?
He's very proud of where it's coming from. They will call him Tether. He's proud of where it's coming from. He's a proud Puerto Rican dude. Like, that's the truth.
Yeah, they like you said, Alfredamus, they don't know everybody's background. So they don't understand that this FBA movement is going to destroy a lot of their icons that they have, you know? So when you look at Carmelo, I knew Carmelo was Puerto Rican because I remember back when he was like with the Denver Nuggets, I remember he did a photo shoot and he had a Puerto Rican tattoo.
Oh yeah, that's even he's you know, from the time this guy got
he's
drafted,
from New York, right?
Yeah, New York.
Yeah, he was born in New York.
Yeah, most likely.
Yeah, he's always claimed it. Even when they had the hurricane in Puerto Rico, I'm surprised FBA was in that way. He was, you know, raising fund for Puerto Rico. He's always claimed Puerto Rico.
Man, FBA don't do the proper homework, man. Come on, they don't.
Even his wife, like ex-wife Lala, I think
Lala's
she's
Puerto Rican.
Huh?
Yeah, Lala's Puerto Rican too.
Yeah. So you see, he didn't go for a Shaniqua. What does that tell them?
Hey, listen, I think one of y'all talked about it, that you don't want anybody in the FBA cult to go to Africa. And I agree. Let me tell you why. Because a lot of them, not all the people that call themselves passport bros are in the FBA movement. But there's a subset of men that are in the FBA movement that are passport bros.
Yeah.
And they're promoting for men to go to these same countries that they claim are dusty third world lands, to go and find wives or to go and be a sex pat, to go and, so these same men, they don't even like their own woman. You know what I'm saying? And if you look at it, even like amongst the three main people, and I talked about it the other day on your last stream that I was on, Tariq is married to a mixed race woman, which Tariq years back said that if you're going to deal with a black woman, a black American woman, deal with one that has a mother that is not black American.
That's white. Yeah.
That's white, or that's something else, because you're going to get the feminine, they're going to get the feminine understanding from the mother. He said this.
Yes. Actually, I'm going to find the video.
Find that clip. And I remember, because I was watching that show live when he said it.
Yeah.
I know Tariq very well.
That.
And then also Tariq, another guy that's pushing it is Dennis Sperling, the one that has a lawsuit against Neferkari, the Haitian brother. Dennis Sperling is married to a Dominican woman, but every day he has so many Dennis Sperling. Every day, look up Dennis Sperling. Every day he has videos against Africans and Caribbeans every day, but his wife is Dominican. And in fact, one of his baby mothers is Jamaican.
He's a clown. Don't take that guy serious, man. He's a clown.
One of his baby mothers is Jamaican, and then he married a Dominican. And then another one is this guy, Phil Scott. Phil Scott's married to a Mexican woman. So these guys,
one time I heard him say it's a light skin.
These guys don't even like FBA woman. They don't like full-blooded FBA woman. She gotta have something else. She gotta.
Because you know why?
Huh?
Because you know what? The FBA, the full-blood FBA woman will beat their ass. They become the man, and then the FBA man will become the woman.
Well, Dennis Burnley knows, because he married one. His first wife, the one that he had 2 sons with, she divorced him and tried to mess him up. So he said, "No more. I'm gonna go get me a Dominican woman." He went to the island of the DR.
Oh, so he was a passport bro?
He has videos. If you go to some of his older videos, he has videos of him living in his villa in DR. He was in there. He was there so many times.
I've seen this video, but I'm not familiar. I think maybe 1 or 2. But honestly, I'm not familiar with it. Ola, what do you think about, this guy, his mom, FBA mom is shaking her head. Did you see that?
She was shaking her head. I didn't see it. I didn't notice that. I didn't watch it.
The mom believes it's a Puerto Rican dude. You understand me? I
But
think
the mom is FBA, and Tariq said, this guy disrespected his mom. But
the mom believes his son is a Puerto Rican. That you saw, you understand? Because the guy been going towards Puerto Rican side for a long time. He did change.
Yeah.
Not everybody changed like them.
He never changed. He always been
changed. That's what he is.
Puerto Rican. He's
always he's very proud of where his father's from.
Yeah, he's been proudly black and proudly Puerto Rican. You can be proudly
both
black,
right,
and Puerto Rican. A lot of Puerto Ricans, a lot of Puerto Ricans that are Afro Puerto Rican are proud to be black and Puerto Rican.
Yeah.
Afrodamos, let me just tell you the truth. Most of the people that fought for the freedom of this so-called FBA are all Caribbeans.
Stokely Carmichael from Trinidad.
Most of them they're from the island. The people that they hate.
Stokely Carmichael, Louis Farrakhan.
Most of them they put their head. And some of them even died for the cause. Have you ever seen show me where a purely black American FBA, let me say FBA, that stood up and said, "Free my people"? It's not really there. Check all their backgrounds.
Colin Kaepernick.
Hey, I
got Tariq kept pointing at Colin Kaepernick being a real one.
Not Turner.
The women, the men, they all came from the island. You understand me? You know why? Because some of these people are far more aggressive in them than the FBA. The FBA
they didn't have a Marcus Garvey.
The FBA would prefer to eat pancake and sugar straw and chill. You understand me? When you said the master the master is my father and my best friend, you can see what they're doing now. They ain't lying. You understand me? So most of those that said, I'm you check the one that said I'm a fit Negro. These are island men that have natural aggressiveness inside them. This Tariq shit, he would prefer to eat and drink what called coconut juice and eat his hamburger.
Well, I've seen him go to the islands for vacation a lot. Jamaica.
Yeah, that's just the truth because these are people who they want to say, check who freed them. The people that freed them, that lost their life for the cause, these are islanders. After these islanders, the mulattoes. You understand me? The mixed ones.
But Ola, are you surprised now they are talking, crazy about South Africans? Remember, South Africans used to say we and the FBAs are the ones that understand each other than the other Africans. But now they hate South Africans too.
Yeah, after that much, I told you your show. I think they're crazy. They think South Africa will be like them. South Africans are not FBA, but they wanted to hold South Africa, say they're free Mandela, that South Africa will understand like them. I said, no, South Africa are purely Africans. Their cause is different from your cause. They are Zulus. They never change tribe. They still hold on to their tribes. Even they've been oppressed in their own territory, but they still have their own tribe. They still call their tribal people. You can't change that until the South Africa lynch on now one of them. They say, we thought we're causes. How can everybody be your cause? But you hate everybody, but you want to grab to some people and say, yeah, we are one. South Africa know much about us. They don't know how to behave, these FBA people. They have to learn how to be. These are not really, these are caught. These are people who chasing money. If you check the way they are, these are not people.
It's a grift. The whole FBA movement is a grift. A lot of YouTubers that didn't even have
a
lot of views, they just jumped on the FBA grift, and now they got people. They got 100. They have 200 people on their live stream now. They're getting 10,000 views a video. Yeah, so they jumped on it as a grift. Listen, man, a lot of these guys, they FBA in public, in private, they chasing after Dominican women.
There's no Africa's group could ever to encounter these people, if not you that came in because I think you grew up a lot, United States, so you know their nuances and everything.
Oh, bro, I know their stuff. I know it's up inside out, bro. Like,
them.
hold
That's
on.
why
I
really,
know it, bro.
they really have some hate against you. You are like their nightmare.
Oh no, I'm the worst. Listen, I'm Tariq's worst nightmare. He banned me. He when this FBA grip started happening, he made sure to ban me from his Twitter so I can't be on his Twitter space because he knows I know him.
Really? He banned you?
Yeah, he blocked me. Oh, he blocked me.
Wow.
He blocked me because he knows he knows I can expose his own whole thing, huh?
Talking all tough, man. He talking all crazy and all that, man.
I'm their worst nightmare, bro. Because
those people, man, those people. It's like you know how you don't take someone serious, but eventually they can be dangerous.
Yeah,
that's what I think FBAs are. You should
yeah. You have to take it seriously to a certain degree because they could be escalated further within the CIA to do something detrimental, but they don't have that much of a range, even if they're co-opted by the CIA. So, but yeah, they could be, but it's more rhetoric. Because think about it, right? I said it before, Afrodamus. Delineation, you can never take anybody serious when it comes to delineation if they're not a true separatist group.
Right.
See, the Kurdish people, that's real delineation. They created the PKK, created a militia group, their own government to go to war against Turkish people, to go to war against Iraqi military. That's dangerous because they really want to separate. A delineation, if you truly are a separatist group, you would not even want to even talk to the people from the other group that you don't like.
Yeah, but CJ, not to cut you off, right? Just like how you just named all these things, right? If they were serious, just like you mentioned, right? Who do you think they're going after? It's the white people.
Mm-hmm.
It's not the Africans.
Yeah.
So it's like they cosplaying other things as well. Because just like how you mentioned all these things, who they technically going after? It's the white and the Latinos.
Well,
and who they barely even talk
want
about.
Africans to help them hate other people.
Nah. That's a stupid fight. That's a stupid fight, man. I'm sorry.
Now, FBA is see when it comes to, like, I watch documentaries, social strategies, political revolutionaries. I watch all that stuff. My dad put me into that stuff. When I was a kid, I knew about all the people that were part of the independent struggle of Africa. I read Friends Fanon and people that were real revolutionaries, right? Against colonial structures, against, apartheid, ANC, Steve Biko, Nelson Mandela. You know what I'm saying? So I know what a true separatist movement looks like. This is child's play. This is a bunch of retarded kids that got together to complain about a people that they really don't want to run away from. Because at the end of the day, these same people that are pushing this stuff, an FBA man is not going to turn down an Eritrean woman, even Nigerian woman. And you have a lot of beautiful in Dallas and Houston. You got a lot of beautiful Ghanaian women, Liberian women, that are here. And they don't even know that because they're born and raised here, a Black American may not know that they're from there. And then when they meet the girl and they're like, man, I met this fine chick. Oh man, what did you? Yeah, but she's from Nigeria. Oh, but you pushing FBA, so you gotta. If you FBA, you can't talk to them. You can't talk to.
It's just like the guy that went to Kenya. Remember, I did the show here, the passport bro guy.
Mm-hmm.
So I saw his other video, like he was on a live, and they were asking him. Someone was like, this guy from New York was like, look, they don't, Jerillo, that's his name. They were like, look, the Kenyans, you talked all this crazy stuff about them. They don't want you in their country. Just leave. You know what Jerillo said? He said he's not going to leave. He said because he said he likes it over there in Kenya. He said when he made that video, he was only there for a couple of days. He didn't know what it was like. So he's like, F it, I'm not going anywhere. He said he likes it in Kenya. Isn't that? But this guy was talking about how, it's not developed. But now he stayed a little bit longer. Now he's saying he likes it.
See, this Diablo guy, right? Jay Rello's from Gary, Indiana.
Right.
There is no black foreign community
Right.
in Gary, Indiana. That's not a place that Caribbeans or African people would want to go to, because when immigrants come here, they're looking for economic opportunity, not economic devastation. Gary, Indiana is an economically devastated part of the country. That's why the Jacksons left there.
Right.
They moved.
Man,
their whole
look at what
family
this
out of there.
guy. Look at. Oh, Nat Turner, it looks like you are triggered. Nat Turner, come join the conversation. He said, fact is this country, the USA, was built without you jealous.
Listen,
FBA Freedman, FBA Freedman, hold on. FBA Freedman lineage, Americans is a lineage. You are too low IQ to know that lineage, what lineage is. Hint, it's a bloodline. Then Nat Turner, why are you guys mad at Carmelo Anthony then?
No, speaking of lineage and bloodline, why does Tariq reject Drake? See, if this Nat Turner guy actually had any modicum of sense, he would know that a lineage has to deal with having a common ancestor.
Have you ever seen Nat Turner?
Rejected Drake, and Drake's dad is from Memphis.
Well, Nat Turner claims to be Indian native. He said his grandma told him, just like all of them. But Nat Turner used to call into the show, and he would come on camera. Nat Turner looks like Nana Akufo's twin. Ola, you saw Nat Turner, right?
Nat Turner and
remember you used to call Ola. Am I lying? Doesn't he look like Nana Akufo?
Yeah, it looked like Nat Turner and you know the other something Daddy. I forget his name. The Trick Daddy. Nat Turner, Trick Daddy. They look the same. Yes, they look the same. But
Ola, did you see how Trick Daddy is scared of being African?
Yeah, because the look, whereas this FBA, when I start seeing them, you know, Afridama, I told you before that I come across them in Europe, right? These are FBA, they don't want to go back. They say, no, I ain't going nowhere. You know, they run around with these white women, they sponsor their lifestyle. You understand me? They say, no, I ain't. No. Some of them, their contract with in the military. You know, at that time they were paying them about $600 for salary at that time. You know, after their contract for 4 years or whatever they want, they will leave the military, but they will still stay around, allowing the white women to be sponsoring their lifestyle. They will say, I ain't going nowhere. And with the more you, not all of them, the more you come close to them, they will sleep with so-called their girlfriend or wife. They will sleep with their wife friend. You know, that's when the Europeans started kind of like pushing them off. Then they start thinking, oh, they start Africans, how you people doing it? Yeah, you people doing it. They like you people. So what I'm trying to say is, Anthony is right to claim his father's side, Puerto Rico. He saw them. You know, the mom is a black American.
But Ola, don't you feel like the FBAs have a point about crying? How did he not even acknowledge them? He's over there talking about how the Puerto Rican is in his blood. He carries that flag. You see, that's what FBA cries about. They said they hate the foreign flags.
Yeah, because you see, the Puerto Ricans never. You see, the Puerto Ricans never deny. The Puerto Ricans never deny. Afridamos, the Puerto Ricans never deny their.
You instigator, man. Afridamos, man. You instigator.
The Puerto Ricans will tell you they have African blood, straight up. They don't hide it. They will tell you they have African blood. Come out to know you have African blood. The
now we FBA, man.
Never hide. Afridamos,
we got Indian bloods.
If you check the food they eat, it's almost similar.
Man, you should show them the video they made.
Of their foods almost seems like the way the Africans they match what they call plantain and match it into like ugali or kind of fufu something. Then they put soup in the middle. They are stew, whatever they eat it, right? These are the kind of African food. So the Puerto Ricans never deny where they're coming from. You understand me? Akon said it himself. the black Americans, the FBA, they were hating on him. They were saying it's a dark charcoal. He said,
Yeah.
but the dude that helped him he said he's late now. He's a Puerto Rican dude. You
Right.
understand me? That push him more, that say, yeah, believe in yourself and everything. Now they're hitting on Fajo. You know, they just hit on anything. You understand me? Fajo never say anything against them, but they hit Fajo, they hit Misrace, they hit Africans, they hit the people that that in the Caribbean territory. Who's their ally then? Who's their friends? You have to understand the most people that free them, that sacrifice their life to free them, or to give them what they call so-called freedom.
Over 300,000 whites
Yeah.
died fighting to free.
Yeah, so you cannot just start hating everybody. We Africans, we did our part in Africa. We're over that. We don't have enemies. We want friends, but they don't like us. Say, oh, we like white people.
Yeah, because the tethers, we tethers are trying to sit at the white table, trying to steal their their cornbread from the table. That's why they hate us. They don't like us because that butter biscuit in the middle of Master's table, they think we're trying to steal it.
After that, most of their chicks now, they are running to Africa to find love.
And to be honest, they caught me because I have been watching that butter biscuit in the middle of that table in Master's house. I just haven't gotten in that house.
Well, here's one of the perspectives that FBA miss out on.
That butter biscuit looks good.
FBA members, cult members, what they don't understand is that when you look at history, whenever an empire rises, that particular empire becomes the center of trade in the world. So at one point, Rome had it, Egypt had it early on. It moved around to the Persian Empire. You get and so on and so forth. So as these different empires move up, you get people that will move and form what's called the diaspora. Because Black Americans, as large as the population is, Black Americans do not feel the need to move out of the empire, the American empire, and stay within it. So when they see other groups of people coming, they don't understand why they would come, but they don't understand this is exactly how empires work. However, this is another thing. When you look historically, whenever a group of people become a very strong diaspora group where they learn different types of technology, culture, trade, languages, they then move up to become the dominant group that then replaces the dominant race or culture group that was at the top. So when you look at, for example, with the Chinese, if you go back to 1980, the Chinese were not advanced. In fact, most people will even tell you, if you go back then, most of Africa was more advanced than Chinese people. Going back, if you go to like 1970, they were mainly rice farmers. They mainly rode on bikes. By the time you get to 1950 in Africa, people had cars, people had trucks. China didn't have that. They were more of an agricultural based society with a military that was just meant to defend the integrity of their territory. But what happened with the Chinese is that because they were poor or they were behind, they then had a group of their own people that were the merchant class that moved to various parts of the world, and they obtained knowledge, they obtained language acuity in those different places that they're in, and they obtained an economic network that later led to the rise of China today. And if the Chinese never had a group of people that left China to acquire those skills and that knowledge, they would not be the China that they are today. And this is something that if you're part of the FBA cult, you do not understand how other groups of people coming here, they're gaining certain knowledge-based skills and technical understanding that they can then bring back to their respective countries in the event that the empire of America and NATO and the West crumbles, which is happening right now. So they have a hard time understanding that because they don't leave unless it's to serve military duties, like Ola was saying. So when they go and they serve in the military and then they finish their service duty, many of them just collect their monthly payment in Germany or wherever they're living, and they don't actually build an actual business there. They just live off of a German woman, or they use their money and they may move over to like a Philippines or a Thailand and become an expat, or move to Brazil or Colombia and become an expat, but they're not building an actual economic infrastructure, economic base in these countries that they go to, because their money's coming directly from the federal government in Washington, D.C. that's paying them the retirement military benefits. But that's all I got to say.
CJ, let me just, the hate you see Tariq is sparing out is not now. You know, don't let them deceive you or anything that, oh, this guy is crazy. We don't have hate. The hate you see now will be existing for a very, very long time. Tariq is a son of those that started the hate. That's what you have to understand. You know, I always said it here. My dad went to the school United States. He went to Teleham's AM Agricultural Missionary University.
You know, Ola, you know, you've told this story, right?
Yeah.
And you're right, because there was a guy, he used to do this YouTube where he's like the older, that you call him older OG. He was talking about Pan-Africanism. And back then, like, I was thinking, okay, this guy is you know, pro-African, until like he would act pro-African. Then he started talking about the Africans in the university in the 70s. He said they think they are all that, they're uppity, they drive in big in sports cars, American muscle cars. You know, he was hating it. He said, how, you know, they came here, they think they are better than us. He was talking about like people like your dad back in the days.
After that, my dad never know nothing about Black America. He's a rural guy who happened to be a place called Warri they call it Warri in the south of Nigeria. What happened? He was doing sport. He was running distance race, 800 meters, 1,500 meters.
Yeah.
That's he came out. He participated in the All African Games.
Yeah.
Then he became second, followed to Abbas Mohammed of then called Somali. You understand? Okay, he went. They gave him a scholarship. The Nigerian government gave him a scholarship to study. You have to. My dad was just what he calls standard 3 high school educational dude. He didn't went to. So when he get to United States, he did what's called diploma to get to the real university.
Yeah.
You understand me? Then when he was in that university, he was being paid by the Nigerian government.
Right.
You understand me? Then by the Nigerian army.
See, the blacks were jealous. They didn't know the money was coming from Nigeria.
Yeah, and he was also in the army. So when he run all this event all over the world, he also gets some money too.
Right.
So my dad was using what called Cadillac, long Cadillac.
Yeah, the Eldorados. Old school. Yeah.
Yeah, he was also using Camaro also. Camaro, what kind of car called Camaro or something like that? He was living a life.
Camaro. Yeah.
Yeah, so he was living in a house with swimming pool and everything, but they thought the United States was the one paying. No, it was the Nigeria was the one paying for his university. My dad said already he started feeling that these people don't like them. Guess what? My dad told me his best friends. It's amigos, the Mexicans. You know, the Mexicans. Yeah. He said once he tried to, he said these 2 Black Americans came to meet him. He said, yeah, can we hang out this weekend? He agreed. Guess what? He said they almost robbed him with his car. You know, see?
The blacks tried to rob him?
Yeah, he said the blacks
I'm not surprised.
He said the blacks tried to rob him. They said, he said they were driving this kind of like a highway. Then the 2 guys said they want to pee. He now stop. You understand me? He said he now stop. Let them have their whatever they want to do. Say before you know they pull out things on him, you know, threatening his life. Say he was smart enough. He sit in the car. They came out. You know, that's how he just drive off and run away with his car and his life. You understand me? So he did never really most of his albums are with white professors. He said because these are the people that guide him. You understand me?
So all are not pictures with the blacks like they try to claim. We open the door for the Africans.
No. The only ones that he have as some of his sports friends like Edwin Moses, who was one time 400 meters world record holder. Then Cavi Smith, who was one time 100 meters, record holder. That was his 80s, Then I asked him, how about Carl Lewis? He said Carl Lewis was just a dude who was still in high school just coming up. So what I'm trying to tell you is that the hate was already there. He started feeling it already. It's at 70s already. You understand me? See, so the hate you see now from Tariq, he didn't just start now. It's already been there because they see us as, they thought the way they portrayed us in newspaper and TV and coming here, these guys are using Cadillac, living on the house with swimming pool. They just do their own thing and they don't want to do. If you like people, they will come close to you. It's the white people that gave them the opportunity to study. My dad liked education a lot. You understand me?
Mm-hmm.
Before he died, he was a school principal. You know what I'm saying? So he really studied to a PhD before he left. You understand? So he just gave me a little clue about Black America, just tiny part of it. He told me about they're not serious in school. You understand? My dad did what they call teaching practice in United States. In Florida, he said then already, these kids don't want to sit in class. They already high. When you want to talk to them, you see, in Africa, a teacher talk to you.
And this was in the 70s, right?
It was the 70s.
So you see, some of those people, maybe now their kids are the ones attacking us on the internet.
Yeah. After that, he said he tried to approach for them to sit in the class. He said the government is paying money to train them and everything. They once said, one of those kids said, you don't get right to talk to me, or otherwise I'll blow your head off.
Sounds black.
My dad, have to respect himself. He said, wow. He just allowed them do whatever they want to do.
Yeah,
that was just.
See, I
believe that, bro. Because
look at what IAS wrote. He said now they are saying they are going to boycott Caribbean Music Awards on BET, and BET is owned by white people. The blacks are going to boycott everybody.
Yeah, they're trying to.
I think.
Yeah, I believe that because by the time your father came to the U.S., the black community was already, in disarray.
My father came to the United States. What year? My dad came to the United States late 1973.
1973.
So you already know much about all these things. He didn't really talk much about them, but he was far more talking about his white professors, the one that assist him during that time in his education. He have a lot of them. He was having contact with them through writing them. They were writing him back. So how can my dad teach me to hate white people when these white people are the one that you don't let it pass through you don't teach him everything. You understand me? My dad was just like started three education in high school, maybe 2 years high school at that time. They put him through. He said, I did my diploma. He even did high school exam before he was able to even get to that diploma. It's a crazy thing. He studied. If he struggled over there to take opportunity what the Nigerian government gave to him. That's just the truth. You have to. So Africans are not just. I think they see us because we're very quiet.
Well, I think the relationship you got to remember is that the relationship that your father would have with white people would be very different than somebody who's Black American. Who you get what I'm saying? Like it's a different relationship with white people.
Oh yeah,
because of
course.
just history. So because of that history, the lack of the history, your dad would have a different outlook on white people
because CJ the thing is African does not have a chip on their shoulder against white. Like there's no beef there, like thinking seeing the white man as a master relationship. These blacks, they get triggered by white because there's like a chip on their shoulder thinking whites are trying to, talk down to them. But as, African, that relationship is not there. It's, man to man, no control.
Yeah, I mean,
because see, like I've lived here for a while, long time, but I wasn't born here, so I'm able to see right away, like the difference.
Yeah, I mean, me
The
growing
difference, because it's like even when you work, you're working in a group, you would see a black person that's like white supervisor. I mean, the blacks would make, not all, but generally they would make it difficult. Because I used to work in government job where there's a lot of blacks, and some of them they pretend out here, but they're very good at brown nosing, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. I mean, I've
brown nosing, but also taking advantage, like with whites, they get easily triggered with whites. Things that are not even necessary, it's the job, they take it personal. So when they see, because I've seen blacks that I've worked with, they get mad at me or other African person for not having the same sentiment with a white person as they do. I'm like,
well, I mean, I'll say, I mean,
it's like, dude, I came to work. Like I left my home, right? Like, to me, it would be foolish that I voluntarily leave my home to go work someplace and just make a big deal out of stupid things, like, like it's just 8 hours or 10 hours, whatever. Like, it's nothing personal. The white man is there for his check, I'm there for my check. You just do your job, that's it.
It comes
Nothing
down to
personal.
how a relationship is viewed as
And I want to make a disclaimer. It's not all blacks, because I know some is going to come here and be like, oh man, Freedom said all blacks. No, not all. There are many who are supervisors.
As somebody who was born and raised here, I dealt with having to, I dealt with what is racism, and you know what I'm saying? So I dealt with it, but it's
like, what would you consider racism?
I literally had to fight 2 white supremacists as a kid.
No, but what?
No, I'm talking like real neo-Nazi.
No, I get. I mean,
kids.
Yeah, but what did they do? What do you consider to make them white supremacists?
No, these kids were literally white supremacists. Like,
no, but what makes them that?
No. Listen to me.
No, that's why I'm asking. I'm
telling you, I beat up in 2 separate occasions 2 different white kids that were both in white supremacist gangs.
Yeah, but what would you consider a white supremacist behavior to where you would beat up?
No, I didn't go out of my way to beat them up.
No, I get that, but what action would you consider a white supremacist action?
Threatening, white supremacist action. First of all, it's what they were in plus their attitude towards me, because I can have a conflict with a white kid and it's not racist. It wasn't a racist situation. It might have been us disagreeing about something. We might have been playing sports and it got heated, and then there might be a tussle. But when you're coming out of your way with other kids to say, you N-word, we're gonna F you up.
Yeah,
and
but
you know what they're
too.
a part of, then you're gonna that's a one action of white supremacy. However, like
that's just dumb kid.
No.
But there's nothing superior about that. That's what I'm saying is
you don't want to show your I'm telling you that they were part of an actual white supremacist gang.
No, I get what you're saying, but I'm saying what makes them a white supremacist? Like, for example, like I've worked in a prison for many years in the past, right? So there's white gangs, there's black gangs, you know, Hispanic gangs. You see? So if somebody in that gang, like the gang members, they happen to make fun of you or whatever, you know, it's no different than a black gang people doing the same thing. Then, so what's the difference here? Because I've seen it. It's not like it's all, you know, white gangs that exist. It's,
I mean, we've had
there are black gangs, and they, you know, if they around each other, you know, I'm pretty sure they've picked on people
Yeah, I mean,
who are African.
I think it'll be too long of a conversation to go into white supremacy, but there is an actual the fact is that when you look at the history in the last 500 years, there is an actual doctrine of white supremacy.
Yeah, I mean,
and it is actually
like,
practice.
Yeah,
the belief that other people are inferior to that non-whites are inferior to whites is a doctrine that is.
But you know, like in Africa, even amongst us, there are tribes who see some other tribes, they see them as inferior to them.
Correct. That's what I'm talking about, white supremacy.
Yeah, but we don't call those tribal supremacists.
No, they say that. It's just that they don't use the same English
but
wording.
what I'm saying is,
like in Nigeria, people will say that the Fulani are the ones who practice, you know, Fulani superiority or whatever. You know, that's what some people will say.
Yeah, but what I'm saying, what I'm trying to say is, if the person, because they are like even FBA, they're trying
over the house, for example,
they're trying to, for example, they're trying to project
dominated by the Fulani.
Yeah, but for example, if they see themselves a certain way, the only way this superiority and inferiority would come into play is you have to acknowledge yourself as less than them for that to exist.
Afrodama, you see, we all have
right.
Every society.
No, I'm just saying that someone practicing it in a way to disenfranchise another group. I'm gonna ask you this, Afrodamus. Do you agree that South African apartheid was a white supremacist political system?
Bro, I understand.
It's a cultural separation.
We talk about
because the blacks, like, because they for it to work, the blacks saw the whites as superior to them, because apartheid bottom, they said, hey, you live on your side, we live on our side, the black side, but blacks fought to be you know, on that side with them. The blacks did not work together because they're the majority, you know. If they believe that the whites were not superior to them, they could have worked together and dominate, just like even they can do that today. But you know, the belief it's not the person seeing themselves as superior, it's the other person have to accept that they're inferior to this person.
There's belief system and then there's practice.
The what?
So there's belief system, then there's practice. What I'm talking about is first belief, then practice. Because somebody could believe that they're a better fighter until you get into the ring. You believe you're the superior boxer.
Right.
Belief.
Exactly.
But in practice, you're not the superior fighter.
Yeah, but if for the superiority to stand, right, it have to prevail over somebody who see, because I can say I'm superior to certain people, right? But it's not gonna be realistic unless the people I see that I'm superior to, and this is what I believe, the only way I would be superior is if they believe that I'm superior to them. That's the only way it would be seen that way.
Afrodama, you see this racism of it, I don't really buy into it because
it's cultural difference. Cultural difference.
In Africa, we have some family members who have some money, don't want you to do with the
right.
poor one.
Right.
So I was being rescued by white people.
But Ola, do you know, like some people, even in Nigeria, like they feel so they have money so superior. When you even poor people give them shake hand, they will give them 3 fingers. Have you
They'll give you a finger to shake you. They'll
to
give you a
shake
finger.
the finger? Yeah,
They'll give you a finger. After that,
to show how superior they are over you.
after that must have a distance uncle. When I come to, the man is very rich. If I come to the house, the wife don't allow me to sit on the chair. He will ask me to sit on the rug. You understand? When the wife is in that living room, I sit on the rug and watch TV. You understand me? Mean to say, I'm already like a lower class because my dad is not that so rich like that. But this is a family blood related member.
Right.
You understand me? Then what saved me is the white people that saved me. The white people saved my ass.
Right.
The white people make me have some money.
Right.
Then when I have that money, you know, I bought a Mercedes-Benz AMG,
yeah,
S500, SF is okay, but it's SDF, Mercedes-Benz AMG. I still remember the whole thing. SL 500, then blue with big rims and everything.
Well,
I drove into the house.
You're giving FBA something.
I mean, my own father's situation was different because he went to first Little Rock, then he came to Houston. He went to HBCU, and his first job opportunity came from you know, a black back family that had a business. In third ward Houston.
You want me to hate
my dad's relationship with black Americans was it was different. You get what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't. That's everybody speaking.
What I'm trying to tell you, if you're looking for racism, you get racism. I was being helped by white. I was being helped by white people, right? If I be helped by white people, whatever I have, I got it through white people, right? Without nothing, they didn't say I'm a black man. They didn't hate me. Then I'm able to see the oppressors in my family face to face. You understand me? I came over there with my white wife. I drove that big Mercedes-Benz. They even don't know I'm the one. The gate man said, "Who are you?" I said, "I just give them my father's last name." The woman, the gate man would run to instance, he mentioned my father. Oh, okay, that man is dead. Who is this guy? By the time the woman came out and saw who is this person, because he saw a big Mercedes-Benz, he asked him to open the gate. And I came in. That chair they refused me to sit on.
Yeah.
I came in with my big army boot.
Yeah.
You know, I was wearing on my jeans. I came into that house without even pulling my shoe. I sit on that chair. If I came with that kind of car, you know, AMG is very low on the ground with big tires.
Yeah.
It's an old Mercedes-Benz made out of, you know, that. But then it was cool, you know. Then my white woman followed me. We sit. The woman was asking me what I want to eat. I said, "No, I'm not hungry." You understand me? I only stood for 30 minutes and I left. So what is more worst? The people you don't know or the people you know? My brother, racism, whatever it is different. We have what called classism in Africa.
Right.
And that classism.
Well, what they call that
well, social structure is different. You always have hierarchy systems, even in your own family. If you go to Nigeria, the firstborn son has hierarchy over his younger brothers. So everything has a hierarchy. When you're talking about,
if you look for racism, you get racism. If you don't look for racism, you will progress. I'm just saying this, you know. Everybody, yeah, in Africa we have bad ones. There are also some white people we build too. But what we're talking about is we just have to love. We don't have to see that lens of that. My brother, white people chase their interest. If you sit with them, it's all about interest. That's what they chase. They just interest.
That's like I
don't think there's anything wrong with a group of people looking out for their own best interest. It's just that.
Well, that's what's natural, you know.
Yeah, it's a natural thing.
Yeah. So you know, if anybody sees that as something else, then you know, if you're not looking, you know, that it like because when you say like when someone looks out for their own interest, to me, that tells me they would respect other people's interests. It's not always the same, but you have to respect and and your own interests, more than somebody else is going to be, showing interest in it. You have to be the one to do that.
Yeah.
Like, you have to be the one, feeling any type of way, whether inferior or whatever. That's up to the individual, how they view themselves, comparing themselves to others. So when they are dealing with people, their relationship with people, it all comes down to your mentality about yourself.
Yeah, I'm a historian, so I when the other people, I always look at it that everything self-corrects and balances out, because historically, if a group of people go too far against another, time will always settle all scores,
Right.
and eventually you'll fall if the order of the universe is eventually, if you do too much, if you F around, you're gonna find out. So
Right.
you, like you said, respect is something that's important when people are in a particular position. When you're in a
CJ.
position of power and you use it correctly, you'll gain that mutual respect by those that you have power over. But if you use it
CJ.
incorrectly, eventually there'll be some kind of a backlash against human beings. Naturally fight for their
CJ.
own survival as well. But go ahead, Ola.
CJ, let me tell you this, bro. We talk about this FBA of a thing now. I'm not talking about general Black America, FBA, right?
Correct.
And there are a lot of them. There's a Ghana guy that was a security. I think he was an ex-American soldier. A Ghana guy. The guy now double called the American accent, right? The guy was done with the military. Then he will now become a bouncer in the club.
Yeah.
But somebody that be on the gate, right?
Correct.
This guy hides his identity of being an African, possibility because of some of this bullying too,
Man.
So I came to that club. Then the guy saw, because you need to show the identity to get to that club, right?
Yeah.
The guy saw my identity, right? He said, wow, we just great. He said, what's up, brother? I said, I'm cool. So we get to that club. I didn't know it's an African. But do you know, from that line alone, standing on that line to get to that club, to get in, the FBA that was on that line, because they hear my accent, they didn't want nothing to do with me. They didn't want to say hello to me. They show me, you understand me? It's okay.
They're probably like, that's a African booty scratcher.
There must have been no pretty girls, because pretty girls, they like when they hear an accent.
Yes.
You get what I'm saying? The pretty girls like.
It was one young white guy, very young. I still remember his name, Popeo. Popeo is a young guy who came to me, was far from me a little bit. Then he came to meet me because he heard my accent, because I was talking to the other African dude. So he said, oh, man, where you from, man? I said, Africa. I said, where? I said, Nigeria. So he started having interest in me, So we get in, we're just talking. So because I didn't know him too much, I was just on my own with the African guy, just talking. We would say hello to some of these Black American guys and chicks. You know what they did? They allow us to know that they are military police. They will wear the jacket, only just the jacket alone, MPs on it.
Yeah.
Right? They would just wear ordinary jeans. The girls will wear like a very short knicker, called very, very short, shupero type of knicker. You understand me? Then they will walk past us, shun us, or look at us by the shoulder, kind of eyesight looking, kind of an attitude. They were giving us.
What city was this? What city was this?
No love, nothing.
What city?
Guess what? Right?
What city were you in? What city did this happen in?
Where's this place?
Yeah, what city?
This place in Augsburg, bro, in Germany.
Oh, in Germany.
And man,
that's
the Americans have the ones with their biggest base there.
Yeah. I didn't know it was Germany. I was wondering where it was at. Yeah, I know what you mean.
I was driving towards that place with my friends.
There's a lot of Africans in Germany.
Yeah, to party, bro. You know what I mean?
There's a lot of Africans in Germany, though.
Yeah, it is not too much, but some a lot are there. So we kind of they just shown us, they shown us. This white guy came to meet me again. We're talking. They were playing pool. Before you know, the white chicks, they just pour in on us, Started playing pool. They were laughing. Guess what? This FBA people started getting jealous. They started
Of
coming to look
course.
at us high. And guess because it was snowing at that time, we could not really go back, you understand? And they didn't know the kind of car my friend pulled in, you know. We came with that so-called, we call it beast in Nigeria. You know, Afrodama, you know that car called you know, there's what we call this is very long car, you know, very long. We call it beast in Nigeria, S600. You know, so
Oh, okay.
Oh, big body. Then we
Big
in
body.
Britain, we call
wide
it big
body.
body in the U.S. In the States, it's called big body.
Yeah,
Big
big
body
body.
Benz.
Yeah, that's where we rode from France to Belgium, the Belgium to where we go to Paris. You know, it's about we move for about 4 hours journey. You know, we're just enjoying ourselves. Guess what? Because it was snowing heavily. This white guy said, "No, you people can't be on this road. Why do we just stay around? You know, along with them?" This white guy took us to his house. You understand me? That's when I tasted the American noodles the first time.
Yeah, you know. Yeah, you know what it is? It's this, and I don't deal with it because I'm born and raised here, so I don't have an accent. So I can see it from your perspective, because I can see Black Americans hearing you talk and being like, "Oh, he ain't Black, he ain't one of us," type. You know, even though you're a fellow so-called Black man, I can see that happening.
Yeah, but the white people, the white Americans, they feel that way. They will just have a chat with us. So that's why I don't buy this so-called black power. I was saying, I don't buy black power of a thing.
Well,
B1, B2.
Black Americans are not really Black Americans are not really a people that believe in true separatism.
Fake.
The only people that believed in that, if you look at it historically in the United States, were Caribbean people, because Caribbean people, they view themselves as being able to handle their own, run their own company, their own country. So that's why if you go back and you look at the history of Black American struggle, none of them were separatists except for those that were Caribbean background. So the ones that were Caribbean background, those are the ones that were like, we can build our own thing and be separate. You know, but Black Americans like FBA, like Malcolm X.
Guys, let's do our closing. It's late for me. I wanted to finish up something. So
yeah, every time I just wake up, man, it's
early morning.
I couldn't really sleep like that, you know, when you running your mind into some kind of business and things are not. I was sleeping before that I wake up because there's certain things I need to carry out.
Yeah.
I was thinking about how to call that person. I have to start my grind because it's not that going good like that. So that's as I just on my YouTube channel, my laptop. That's
Yeah.
It's about it's early in the morning right here, and if I'm still just laying I left the bedroom.
It's night time for me.
Yeah, now here it's about early in the morning. But if I close up now, man, just go and brush my teeth, just sit and start thinking what to do, you know.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sleep. That's what people said. In Africa, we don't really sleep like that. We think about the next thing what to do.
Yeah.
You understand me? You know?
Well,
yeah, man.
I'm glad we could keep you company. All right.
It was nice having you, you know, today. Man, you I think we're very proud of what you're doing. You're showing us the real light. No, we stand by it. Hey, CJ, what's up, bro? Where you from in Nigeria, man?
Yeah, absolutely.
CJ, where you from in Nigeria?
Yeah, my parents are from Imo State.
Imo State? Have you been there?
I was there in 2021.
Man, your place is heavily developed now, man. I hope you join your brothers there to build the mansion, the mega mansion they built there too, bro. Have a great day after that was.
Yeah, my father built a house, you know, before maybe about 15 years ago.
Yeah, bro. Good night.
Thank you,
all in America. Good morning.
All
right, CJ. Closing statement.
Closing statement. Yeah. When it comes to this, I think it's just, you know, I think FBA and their identity crisis issue is just something that when you run away from your history and you don't know exactly, you don't want to go back, you just want to start at the plantation, you're going to always have a problem with your identity. And, you know, I think that with a lot of people coming from Africa over the last 50 years, you know, by now there should have been, and there's some of them that have reached out and tried to figure out different things, and they have DNA tests now. And I know my brother, he took ancestry DNA just for, just because it was out there and he decided to take it. Same with my sister. And there's people that have they're from the same paternal lineage going back 8-9 generations that are Black Americans. So, they're able to connect with him and figure out more about just an extra connection. Because at the end of the day, white Americans will never run away from Europe, their European background. They may be proud to be American, but they'll let you know that, my parents came from Germany, Poland, France, Britain, Ireland, and they'll still hold on to that. That's why they're still allies with those Europeans in Western Europe, because that's where they came from. That's why they have NATO. NATO was created for them to all make sure that they look out for each other's interests. That's why NATO is there, because they collectively view themselves as the same people. So, that's part of the problem that FBA has, because FBA doesn't understand, collectivism. You can still have differences and still work together. You're not always, it's just like having siblings. Yeah, sometimes your relationship with siblings can be so bad that you have to separate yourself from them. So, but when it's at least good enough, you can at least find a common ground.
Thank you.
And appreciate one another's differences as well. So with Carmelo Anthony coming out of his way to honor his father, just at least his father died at 2. He's allowed to remember his father when he's being presented with a high achievement of being inducted into Hall of Fame. And if Tariq keeps on this, what's going to continue to happen is that more FBA icons and people that you look up to will continue to expose that they are foreign Blacks, and you're just going to continue to hate yourselves even more. And it's not going to change anything. The problem is that you need to change yourself, not us or anybody else that's not rocking with you. So that's all I got to say.
Thank you, CJ, for coming. Great words. I'll see you on the next one.
Having me. All right. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was CJ. I want to thank you all for, joining us again on another beautiful one here. As you guys know, per usual, the FBA, Tariq and his people are going to do what they do. It doesn't make sense to most people, but to FBA, it does. So I'll see you guys on the next one. It's laid over here. Enjoy. All right, I'll see you guys. Peace.
Then I used to the freedomers. Pay attention. Then I used to the freedomers. Pay attention to the freedomers. The Jews are